your fill-in for tonight. Not a villain for tonight. One half of the Storm Gods. I am Paul Con Queso, aka Paul Con Fuego. As our usual host Elemental would say, I was asked to tap in and tag in today to fill in for my good brother L, the most electrifying host in the Zoomiverse, in this known universe, who brings to us all the greatest known community in all of poetry. And I'm really, really excited to be back here. Some background lore on me, right? So I started here. Like, this is literally my poetic origin, my home as far as the Nuyorican is concerned. I mean, like, I went to the Nuyorican a lot as a baby undergrad. I went to the Nuyo from like 2010 to the pandemic, taking my students there too, because I'm also a professor. Pero I didn't really get in with the Nuyorican and start hosting workshops and doing all the things I'm doing now as far as hosting and working on in the backgrounds of Nuyorican until I stumbled upon the very first ever Thursday night online open mic, previously hosted by La Bruja, all the way back in March of 2020. So it's legit my 6 year. It's in my 6 year anniversary. Pero it's not about me today. It's about the community. And I see so many of my friends who I met, who I got to share joy and commiserate with. So I'm just so excited to get into it today. I'm so excited to reunite with y'all here on the online sphere. And I'm really, really excited to see what y'all bring to the room tonight. I know it's going to be an electrifying night in the spirit of Elemental. I'm going to get us kicked off with a little bit of the usual introduction. So, welcome to the online open mic, TOOM, the most electrifying mic you can find anywhere in the Zoomiverse, presented by the Nuyorican Poets Cafe, typically hosted by Elemental, but tonight it is guest hosted by me, Paul with the cheese, Paul con queso, poet, professor, producer, host, all the things, many slashes, hyphenates, all that shit. I'm from the brick city of Newark, New Jersey, and I've been a poet ever since I can remember, and that all brought me here to now hosting and working with the Nuyorican Poets Cafe, and it's one of the great honors of my life to be here and to provide platforms and spaces for folks like y'all to share our truth, our stories, to reach out to one another and give a place for each other to have shelter, to have amplification, to have good vibrations, to commiserate and mourn and come together to express whatever we need tonight. And I'm really, really, really excited to get into this. I'm also one half of the hosts of the Nuyorican Final Friday Slam, which happens the final Friday of every month, now at the Loisaida Center until the Nuyo reopens later this year. Pero I usually host that with somebody who fills in a lot of the time, who works tech most Thursday nights, Matthew Marroquin, but he's somewhere globe traveling around the world as he does. So y'all gonna get me and Mr. You down with RMT? Yeah, we got it handled. Ron is one of my day ones on this whole New Sphere. And I see so many beautiful, smiling, friendly faces. I see Finn Bell, the Lighthouse. I see Vale, my homie from way back. We go way back. Yeah. I see Paul Skiff, the Loisaida icon, the Nuyorican icon himself. I see Ike Vaults, been holding it down like he got vaults full of bars. We got the lantern carrier who's carried so many lights to guide us through as a beacon. We got Rich Glennon, Daddy Rich Glennon. Before he was even a daddy, we had him in these Nuyo streets, in these virtual streets. And then we've got newer folks I know and I've seen from the online spaces and the in-person faces. Alan Gary, who has helped and worked with us as a volunteer at the Nuyorican, and I've seen him in so many of these spaces. And then there's new folks that I don't necessarily know yet, who I'm looking forward to making friends with today. We see Ray Whitaker and his incredible Motorhead look. His facial hair, I just want to borrow that for like a day and just like rock it. See if I could pull that off. Right, it's incredible. Then we've got Dre Mareveras. Again, I might get names wrong today the first time I intro y'all, just because it's my first time encountering names. But I'm gonna say what I'm gonna say is our name is our first poem. It is our first home. And we are going, y'all are gonna drag me if you need to. Make me put respect on the pronunciation of your name. Your parents gave you that poem for a reason. The universe, you call yourself this. if it's your stage name, your given name, whatever name you want me to respect you by, please drag me for it, because I want to get it right. I want to honor you. We got Eddie the fireman, foreman, my brother with the most, never goes ghost. We gonna toast. All right. So Eddie, I was just shouting out. Then we got Manya. We got Manya Highs. No, I love your onesie. I love it. I'm living for the onesie. It's giving. I might have to change into my raccoon onesie later. Um, we got Brian E. Brian E. looked like he primed and ready to spit some fire at some point tonight. I know it. I know it's in there. He got the earpiece in. He looking locked in. We gonna clock in. So yeah. Finishing up some of the rules for tonight. Uh, yeah, definitely. We shouted out our brother, RMT. We got the same Zoom ID each week. Those coming to us from the Zoomiverse. That link is 860-4964-4756. In case you're watching, feel free on the YouTubes or the live streams to jump on in. We're friendly on this side. Join us on the Zoom. Jump in the chat. Make friends. Don't just spectate and stand on the sidelines. Right? Our online open mics, as I said, they're also streamed to YouTube. What is the style or genre? All art forms are welcome here. I know we're the New Eurekan Poets Cafe, but we also we love our singers. We love our comedians. We love our musicians. We love our griots and our storytellers and our short story writers. So please feel like whatever you have to share tonight, you are called to share. It's the variety show, right? However, one exception, there's no shared images, no screen share, no audio tracks are allowed to accompany, because it messes with the audio, it messes with our live stream and our live feed. We've had to make that exception, and we also can't allow any copyrighted music by others, because then it's going to get us blocked on the YouTube. You don't want us to get this pulled down. Y'all are going to rock it tonight. I want to go back and watch this for months on years in the future, right? Think of future you. Think of future me. Don't let us get pulled down by the censors of the YouTubes. Also important, if you're playing your own instrument from home in front of your camera on Zoom, enable your original sound on the settings. Otherwise, Zoom is going to make it sound like it's underwater and it's background noise. It'll filter it out. Tonight, we do have a theme. The themes are always optional. Go with it if you want. You don't have to. It is craftsmanship or the blueprint of the poem, right? Some of y'all be architecting, some of y'all be following forms. So, we got to craft the ship. It's craftsmanship, and sometimes you build the ship as you go, and we write free verse and we freestyle and we rock off the top. But some of us are real sticklers for a beautiful form. We love a villanelle. We love a sestina. We love a series of haiku, senryu, atanka, arenga. It really is up to you. But this theme tonight is about craftsmanship. Now, it's up to you to interpret that in whatever way you want, whether the blueprint means a structure or whether the blueprint means how you envision it. But the craftsmanship is how you put it together, right? So I'm excited to see if any of us are going on theme. Signups for artist RSVP, just a note, they're closed for tonight. If you ever want to sign up for the 20 guaranteed list, the tickets open up 24 hours before Wednesday night. That would mean 8 p.m. Eastern time. So you'd have to visit neeurekan.org/calendar in order to sign up. Those of y'all who did on our 20 guaranteed list, y'all understood the assignment. If you didn't have a chance to sign up, then you can ask to be added. DM either myself or our tech producer for the night, Mr. Ron Mark Thompson. You can DM him starting right now, or you can DM me, and we will add you to our good luck round at the end of our 20 guaranteed list. Each of our 20 guaranteed performers, we have a four, cue the Avant. I only got 4 minutes to do what I gotta do to prove to you. Sorry, I'm big on the 2000s R&B. You only have 4 minutes. Say what you gotta say to make us stay. And I'm okay. Pero that's 4 for the guaranteed. Then we gonna start playing the Oscars playoff music. You saw how they do all the tech people. Anyone who's not one of the main actors, they just gonna play. I don't mean to disrespect y'all. I love y'all. I want your words, but keep us in suspense, right? You can be like, hey, this is the first 4 minutes of my 10-minute poem, because I'd be spitting 10-minute poems. This is the first 4 minutes. And then exactly, just like Ron did, we're going to start playing that wonderful, epic, you got to wrap it up music, where then I'm going to give you a little overlap, but then I might have to jump on like the Sandman at the Apollo and pull y'all off with a hook. So don't make me do that to you. Just self-police, right? Self-edit. And coming from me, I know that's rich. I'm the man of the 7-minute poem. Pero today we're going to stay within the rules because we want to get to everybody and we want to send our folks home as we are meant to on time. However, one stipulation is not 4 minutes. For the good luck round, it is 3 minutes. 3 minutes, and I believe we have a total of 5 spots that are open. So once those 5 spots get claimed, you each have 3 minutes to tell your story, to jump on the mic and do it right. If you missed last night's, sign up. Yeah, and then after each performance, I'm going to ask all of you to unmute and applause in between performances. So please give everybody who, please give the person or the people who just shared their piece your energy, your finger snaps, your thunder claps, your golf claps, your whatever, your clock hits, whatever you feel called to do, your oh my God. But also feel free to use the chat. The chat is a forever living economy of tonight's events. So if you really have something to share with somebody, and I know Lantern Carrier shares his love letters, right, to most of them. Lantern is so thoughtful in crafting like the feedback and the give back. And I really love Lantern for that, right? So if you have things you want to share, you want to highlight, you want to big up the performers on stage, please drop it in the chat. Don't be strangers to each other. Yeah, make sure that you are chopping it up in the chat and making use of it, because that's how we build community. I literally have built friendships out of the Zoom chat box, right? Zoom, speaking of friendships, we got to speak of another ship, which is censorship. That is the only exception to our freedom of speech, right? We truly believe in freedom of speech, no censorship here. But please, no hate speech and no disrespect. If you're going to drag somebody who rightfully deserves it, if you want to talk about Donald Trump and how his loose bowels sink shits, then that's fine. Drag the people who are, drag people who deserve it. But no hate speech, please. There is a zero tolerance policy. You act cute, you will get the boot, and you ain't getting back in, because Ron is one of the best bouncers I've ever known, right? Ron is just going to stop you at the Zoom door. Also, any notes to Zoom bombers and trolls? If you come trolling, we gonna put you in a hole, right? And that's not a threat. That's just a friendly reminder. Like, don't Zoom bomb. Don't be that person. Don't cut down other people's moments with nonsense and fuckery, right? We are here to feed the muse. We are here to support each other and share our art coming direct from our hearts. So don't let your contribution be something fucking foolish in the chat, right? Because you will, again, be permabanned. You'll get booted. As Ray Jane says, you act cute, you gonna get the boot. And if you feel you are being offended or targeted or threatened by any other Zoom attendee, if any unsavory things are going on in the chat or the DMs, or you get a weird vibe, please DM me, please DM RMT, and let us know, because we want to keep the space safe for you. We want to make sure that this is always a place that you feel that honors you, right? And we would prefer if you keep your camera on throughout the night. We see, there's some folks right now, you handling your business, you eating your dinner, you still running an errand, you are running around the world right now. I mean, I'm smoking hookah. I had to set up my hookah before. I don't want y'all watching my booty set up a hookah, so I would have mute my camera as I'm doing that. I might do that throughout the night if I got to run to the kitchen and grab a bev. Please grab a beverage, enjoy yourself. If you want to eat on camera, it's a mukbang, y'all. People get paid for that on live streams, but do as you please. But if you feel you need to mute your camera, do it. But we'd love to see your face, especially when you're performing. We want to get the full experience. We want to see them hand gestures. Give us the mange, give us the Italian, give us the 6. No, don't give us the 6-7. But yes, feel free to give us the fullest experience we can get, to simulate as close as we can get to being in each other's living room, to being on a stage together, to sharing a physical space. Thank you to all of our sponsors who support our weekly on-site and online programs. We want to shout out the NYC Department of Cultural Affairs. We want to shout out Bloomberg Philanthropies. We want to shout out the Howard Gilman Foundation. And we want to shout out the New York State Council on the Arts. And of course, we want to thank every person in our community who's donated to us, attended an in-person program, and bought tickets, continues to support all of you, even if it's donation-based or it's free. Your presence is a present, so thank you. Thank you for anyone who's paid a ticket or paid it forward or told a friend, which all helps to continue the cafe to offer programs moving into the future in these wild times that we're living in, right? Yeah, and then we gonna get into it in just a second, but first, I'm gonna throw our open mic list in the chat for everybody so they know, right? And I'm gonna do that right meow. And just one last, well, not one last warning. I'm gonna annoy y'all. I'm gonna be very Bueller about it. I will warn y'all that we still have time to sign up for the Good Luck Round if you have not. And I see some folks in the room already who I know you got poems. I know you got bars. So why are you depriving us of these gifts and not signing up? So those of y'all who aren't signed up, but you're just in the room, don't be lurking. Don't be chilling in the periphery. Give us your heat. Give us your beauty, your voice. And with that being said, I think that's a perfect transition for us to get into it. Now that you see the list and you know the list, it's in the chat. I think we're gonna bring our first. Y'all ready for some poets? Y'all ready for some performers? I'm ready. I've been ready. I feel like I was born ready. This is my homecoming. And I'm so glad that somebody I've gotten to know over the past couple of years who has become a staple at our in-person and especially our online. I see him in the workshops. I see him at the Monday night slams at Bowery. I see him at the Final Fridays. I saw him at the Apollo, back at the Grand Slam back in December. This man has been whittling, working on his craft, sharpening that pen. And now he gonna show y'all how we get into it, y'all. Please welcome to the stage, Mr. Alan Gary.
Thank you, Paul. And friends, of course, you can always follow me on my Alan Gary Facebook page. Craftsmanship, blueprint of the poem is what we are talking about tonight. Here's a piece that served me well in slam poetry competition. True story of my challenge growing up and overcoming it. It's called Hope. I could not read when I was a child, isolated from my ABCs, like a ghost in a classroom. Teachers at school, like cartoon villains with magical powers, mocked me. Surviving first grade consisted of being someone else, slipping into jester, rebel, or invisible, rendering me impervious to the many slings and arrows of classmates who grasped their alphabets while I grasped at straws, and their teacher overlord seeking to diminish me even further. Stupid was a nickname I did not want to ever earn and sought to avoid it at any cost. A fate worse than death was to be marked as the least smart in a class whose students all had the challenges of life and burdens of beginning stigmas society would soon enough thrust upon them. Sanctuary came at home from my loving mother, who unconditionally was able to intuitively understand what I needed and was able to deliver, guiding me with weekend trips to places in my imagination, plus a little help from books from the library, which she first read to me, then I gifted the stories back to her. Mom was my superhero protector, shielding and teaching me with love, patience, and guidance. Afternoons spent in a small upstairs Brooklyn apartment, able to soar through skies, visiting cultures once unknown, now more friend to me than everyday school encounters. Tilting at windmills, which consisted of images of words on paper, no longer looked like a blank slate, just as my soul used to feel, learning that I could learn with my mom teaching me that I am worthy. Now I had hope. And here I am, no one's fool, now a master's degree in hand, teaching English to immigrants from different lands. Potential was there, just took my mom to make me aware. You can't judge a book by its cover. Period.
Hey, with the mic drop on the period, y'all. Please unmute. Give some energy to Alan Gary.
All right.
All right,
Thank
Al.
you.
All right.
That's the mic smoking. Wow. I felt like you were at a slam doing that. Like I felt the energy.
Thank you.
Yeah, beautiful, beautiful. Okay. So, beautiful way to start off our night. We got a confessional piece, we got a relative piece speaking about using our voice, right? And the importance of it. And in that spirit, we're gonna keep it moving to the next incredible voice on our list. Y'all know, when you see this man coming, you know it's gonna be heat. You know he gonna give it to us professionally. You know he be the man with the heat, the fireman, fireman, fireman. Give it up for Eddie Fort Fireman, Poetastic Foreman.
Thank you, my brother, like no other, reverse like thunder. And Paul Concasio is just a great host, but a great teacher too. Thank you for pushing on through.
I'm so
Please never
happy to
forget
see
that
you.
we love you, Elemental Ron and Math King too. And please keep on singing. Yeah. Hello, my name is Ed Potato, Fantastic. Please, it's time to join my Ryan Fall First Sublime. I got three short pieces, so I take too much time. The first piece is called A Bowl of Purpose. I used to work for a nonprofit, a time I can't forget to check. Grow vegetables for the needy, giving them away so freely. Why am I talking about this? Everything you do is a kiss. You write your inner tales to cast your literary spells. You go to work each day to make sure everything is a-okay. You get up every morning to lower someone's morning. Everything is a domino effect. Don't neglect, but simply reflect. If you don't do what you do, then the sunshine wouldn't poke through. I know it doesn't feel like you did nothing, but dirt can create or shape something. Not trying to say you're dirt, it's not to hurt, it's not to alert, but you're the bowl of dessert. Your skills of being make someone's day. Be sunlight or clay to shoot away the gray. Thank you. And the other one is the meaning of poetry. The meaning of poetry is the air we breathe, is the food we eat, is the blood hiding beneath, is the music to the beat. Poetry means more than that. It's beyond science and facts. It builds instant connections and it gives verbal satisfaction. It's the meaning of the minds to keep our hearts aligned. It educates us all to stand true and tall. It's food for the soul that's more precious than gold. It's the page that keeps on giving, or the essence keeps on transcending. Poetry can get you out of your shell. It's a spell if you can't tell. Poetry is really hard to explain as the blood passes through our veins. To me, poetry is everything in one. It's the pale moon and the shining sun. And last but not least, the bare naked truth. We're exposed poets. We stay naked every day. Oh, come on, you know it. One shades any day. You know it. No dying it. Our emotions on full display. You have to quickly admit we're all write bare essays. The words can really hit, flesh out the inner gray. Yes, we're naked. Don't quit. Shine your golden ray. I know some feel sick. Show the world the way. Hope it can really click. Show away the hardened clay. Keep crushing those bricks. Hope whoever going astray. Perform the emotional tricks. Make the inner trauma delay. Give a backbone for those pricks. Make the thunderstorms decay. Chain in front of skeptics. Acceptance. No more betrays. Support that man or chick. Unshackle the cause or obey. Make your personalized stick. Get advice in life's disarrays. Remove those small annoying ticks. Very naked insight you betray. You're naked. Everything is okay. Thank you.
Hey, you're naked. Everything is okay. What a line to end on. I want y'all to unmute and give some love to Eddie
Yeah.
Poetastic, y'all.
All right.
Eddie, that was great. Whoa,
Yeah.
yay.
Woo!
Fire, Eddie.
It was
Be
fire.
sunlight. Be sunlight, Eddie. I like that last poem about being naked because that's one analogy I always use. A poet has to have the capacity to do self disclosure and be relatively unself conscious about it, however hard that is. And the analogy I use is so similar. It's like if you're going to do a poem up in front of people, you got to drop your trousers.
Exactly.
That is so perfect. Yeah, I mean, you are up here bearing it all. It's kind of the perfect metaphor, right? We are laying ourselves bare. I know one of the rules at the Friday Night Slam and the New Yorker open mics in general is no nudity. Nudity is not allowed, but metaphorical nudity is allowed. You know, the poem itself is allowed to undress. We bare our souls whole. You know, there's no, you can't get arrested for that. You can't be like indecent exposure. Your poem was too naked. No, you can't do that to us. And Eddie, you did such a beautiful job of laying it all out there on the line and laying it bare. That second poem too, I felt like we already future traveled to National Poetry Month because you had such a beautiful like love letter to poetry and such a beautiful exploration of what it means for us as creators and a medium. And that to me was an epitome of what we meant tonight by craftsmanship and the blueprint, right? So I know you understood the assignment, right, Eddie? So we gonna keep it going, keep it flowing, as La Bruja would say. And I already kind of teased that this dude got himself ready. He in the zone. He about to enter a flow state. He got the earpiece in, like he on stage, and he about to go in like he or Immortal Technique. But I'm about to meet the next poet coming to the stage. Please welcome and give it up for Brian y'all.
Thanks, Paul. This one, I'll see if I can get two in, but this first one's called Both Worlds. I don't come from two states, it's just one place, a mythical space called NYNJ. Not one or the other, we fucking hybrids. The other one staters won't ever understand this. 718 my origin, 908 all the way. Lastly, 201 provided me with a place to stay. The new is to come from this strange family called the News. Miss York's got the reputation, Miss Jersey's got the view. Tight assisted, but just as combative as two misters, quick to strike the truce when it comes to visitors. When they judging us and thinking we all wildin', as if the rest of the country wasn't still spiraling. From Queens to Elizabeth, royalty not required. From Eastwick to the Heights, but I could keep going higher. From chasing Mr. Softy to chasing NJT Ride, take the path to be on time. MTA for showtime. From Italian eateries to more Italian eateries. Come by, we got more restaurantes than fucking Italy. Heart of the East Coast, the mecca birthplace of hip hop, Civic Avenue, a fact that can never be topped. And across the river, Sinatra's Cahobic home still stands. And when Giant's second home, the Meadowlands. And if landing at JFK or LGA won't work, there's always the last resort, the EWR in Newark. Pound and Port Authority do nothing about them delays. Then they try and justify why the fare's getting raised. Or while our pay and net pay is getting remaining the same. That's why we fare evading our local Olympian game. Culture and slam to the face like getting smacked by a brick. That shit really stings. Best get you some a little Vicks. Yeah, one state might have more glamour and glitz, but you fucking know the other one's got a sure thing. But I hold up, don't forget your imperfections. Don't be mad, this is all said with pure affection. Admit it, y'all know you got the bad reputation. Admit it, Jason Scorsese brought that to attention. We got crooks of all kind, from places low and high, mistaking their greed as them trying to survive. Everybody calling us crazy, and we just smile. And for better or worse, we just find the style. It's what completes the picture. Your flaws make you raw. Tell everybody we don't fucking play it all, y'all. And we wear it like a badge of honor. You let them know, Broadway or bar fights, we always put on a fucking show. Uh, Thank you. I'm just, I'll get
You
one
you
more.
you running the second one? I know you said you were gonna try to fit both. You gonna try to make the second one work in the time,
Yeah,
or
yeah, yeah,
okay?
I can do it.
Go Poe.
Remember those old Nike commercials? The ones with the dudes dribbling to the beat like a musical. Got on that sneaker craze back in those size one days. In middle school, you the shit if you rocked them J's. At least in elementary, I thought it worked that way. Asked mama for my birthday this coming Sunday. Said she knew someone who might have something in stock. The day came toward the paper up, saw the shoebox, but shockingly, I instantly saw that they were fakes. Logo backwards, misspelled brand name with the wrong laces. Saw mama smiling at the effort she made. Yet I'm sweating, stressing for because I knew a kid who got bullied out of my school, forgot his name, just knew he was copying fake food booze, never let him forget it the whole year through. Meanwhile, I'm watching this go down, thinking how cruel. Sure enough, they outed me, like they asses at me. Fortunately, I come off unbotheredly, but on the inside, the taunting was destroying me. And if I only told my mom which shoe specifically, but we weren't wealthy. The option wasn't there. Last clean pair, no other choice for me to wear. Did the other kid have to bear the same burden to bear? Shit, man. Life for no reason can just be unfair.
I'm gonna need y'all to unmute and show so much love to my brother Brian
Yeah.
and CISO on that
All right.
one.
I
Thank you.
felt that. Thank you.
Thank you.
That was a nostalgia trip. You time traveled us, man. Mr. Softy. What was the sneakers you just mentioned in the second poem?
Nikes.
Yeah, well, the Nikes, but I pictured all like I'm shopping at Payless,
Oh
right?
no,
Then
yeah, yeah.
yeah,
But it was, yeah,
I'm wearing the like the Skechers,
yeah,
right?
yeah,
And that's no dig, that's no dig, and
no, no,
also
yeah,
like no dig, also talking like Newark Airport, the Lassers are like you really made me feel my heart like damn, are we really the Lassers are we really the stepchild of air travel? But then I'm like I worked at Newark Airport, yes, we are the last resort. I
yeah.
don't want to be there either. I
Agnostic.
only want to be there when I'm gonna leave there. Brian, thank you from one Jersey head to another. I felt you with the shouts to 908 Eastwick, Elizabeth. I was born in Elizabeth.
Hmm.
So we living for it. And then 201. Where were you in 201?
Jersey City, right
Jersey
now.
City. I saw
Ah,
you
there you
mention the
go.
Heights. I didn't know. I didn't know if you meant the Heights in the city or the Heights in JC. But we got love for Jersey. I'ma always hold down Jersey. And Brian and CISO, thank you for holding us down tonight. I knew it. I had a feeling in my gut that this man was gonna come and just start hitting the rhythm, the cadence, hitting them poetic incisions. Brian and CISO, so insightful and he nice though. He gonna hit y'all with the shit with a quick light flow. Anyway, it's not a light show. I'm gonna get to the next. Okay, so the next poet to come up on our list, Oh, we got the onesie. I'm gonna see what I could do in the time you perform. However, I'm so excited. We got the cat tower in the back. We got the squishy floof, the loaf, the baby cat featuring in the back. However, coming up to the stage, please, y'all, welcome Manya Shankar, please.
Thank you. I'm gonna have two short pieces. I'm stuck on the loop of the roller coaster. Everything is happening once again. The tracks are starting to disintegrate from how long I've been on this ride. Same tracks, different cart, different people watching, but shitty nonetheless. Every cart I pick doesn't fit. Every modification to the track bounces back to what it was. I can't do it. No matter what, I stay alone on the cart and people watch from afar. But every so often my track attracts other people as if it was magnetized, leading everyone to me, and it's my mission to fix everyone, make them what I couldn't be, happy. And then the next piece is not my typical stuff. People watch from afar as the zebrafish stabs me repeatedly on land. It's not a new phenomenon. Every day, people gather to watch the spectacle. If you cut my body open, you could see the string wrapped around my heart, traveling up to my brain and my stomach growing hands to rip itself out of my body. Every breath in, he stabs me again. Every breath out feels like my last one. Repeat. Suddenly, all I feel are the stabs, with no relief of it being the last one. The sun rises and sets, and he still has that damn knife. As I collapse and the blood squirts out, people are tapping on me, shaking me, screaming at me just to get a response, but I can't get it out. If only they could see the tightness, the pain. And soon the zoo closes up. Everyone leaves, leaving me to face the zebrafish all over again tomorrow.
Ooh-wee. Oh, please, y'all, unmute and give some love to Manya.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Well,
That's awesome.
I really like the first poem. It had this really concise kind of theme of being, well, both poems kind of tread in this territory. This theme of kind of being stuck in an identity that's you don't really put out yourself, but people have assigned it to you. So you're kind of just stuck in this social role as the fixer. And the second poem sort of was in somewhat of the similar territory. Some of the imagery just reminded me of like I'm listening to a Frida Kahlo painting, but it's a poem, you know?
Wow.
And just the whole thing about being trapped and suffering. And you did those, like you said, short poems. You did them with such economy. I really liked that.
Yes, leave it up to the Jedi Master Skiff to offer such beautiful, insightful feedback. Yeah, both pieces, right? Experiential, right? We like he said, the first was a theme park, locked on the tracks, feeling stuck, right? Feeling glued and just pulled by that motion. And then the second one, like being trapped in the tank, being trapped with the fish, literally drowning. And it was that second piece was so pain. I could feel the pain in that piece. I could feel the heartbreak, but by the time you came out, right, it was like we were coming up for breath, right? By the time the poem ended, we're like, oh, well, we've made it to here, you know? And so thank you for being here. Thank you for sharing your stories, whether it's pain, whether it's survival, no matter what it is, our survival is a testament. It's a testimony. And Manya, that was beautiful. That was brave. Your cat in the back is very proud of you. What's your cat's name? You could throw your cat's name in the chat, or actually, let me unmute you real quick. What is the cat's name? Because I feel like we'd be remiss.
His name's Simba.
Simba. Okay, look at that. You got a whole lion, right? Yeah, we got a whole lion in the background. So Simba, we welcome you. It's a circle of life, and it moves us all. Okay. So speaking of the circle of life, we're gonna keep it moving. We're gonna keep it to the next on the list. Please, y'all. She's been so supportive in the chat. Such a bright beam of energy. And I'm gonna get to hear their words right now. So please, y'all, give it up for Dre Marevara. Did I get your name right? Did I
Maravillas, yes, of course. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Perfect.
Take it away,
Thank you. Okay. It's off topic, but like writer's block, but a relationship. Okay. Our first meeting is older than the language we grew up in. I saw your face before you saw mine. Your mouth mid thought, already reaching for me. And then you turned, and I confused your eyes for my own. My body knew first before words. I knew he is not leaving without me. The honey poison hex, older than us, found a body. Yours, mine. Did we speak? We left together before I fully arrived. In the elevator, you kissed me hard, filled my mouth with answers to questions I hadn't learned yet. I said, I'm afraid. You said, no one's afraid in church. Then, mushrooms in the empty zoo. You licked my wrist, then my mouth said, tastes like we're fucked. We kissed for 7 hours in an ancient tongue, my lips swollen, achingly awake, holding the shape of you. You walked me to the subway, strangers whispered directions home like prophets with bad timing. Don't go. You tapped my skull with one long, beautiful finger. Can I live here? Then softer. Soon you won't know the difference between my voice and your own. 9 hours later, some overpriced hotel downtown, we had a whole suite. And still the closet door closed, world out, God out. We lost days in there. The first time you were inside me, everything else eclipsed. Our bodies, remembrance, not discovery. You caught my exhale between your teeth, held my chin, steadying hunger, said, thank you for curing gravity. The room tilted. We blurred the line between lust and prayer. You unraveled my DNA like a storm spirit with a brutal grudge against stillness. I crossed over, came back changed. What I became was a monster with appetite. My brain full of you, dreams of inhaling you, fantasies of eating you, slow. When I bit your lip, mouth full with blood, your need, I whispered something unintelligible, pathological. You heard it as love. This is no metaphor. This was collapse. You took residence everywhere. I stopped answering to my own name. Dre sounded wrong without you in me. I bent myself around the burn, called it home. You didn't ruin me. You finished what I started the first time I said, don't go. Our kind of love, it eats you, not to keep you, to change you. It took everything, tore down my sleep, the scaffolding of who I was, stripped me to silence, then broke me open, not for you, for this. Now, poetry falls from my mouth the way you used to. I open for it the way I open for you. Hungry without question. You were never the home, you were the threshold. Medicine wearing obsession. You wrecked me exactly right. Now I am full, not of you. I am teeth. I am words. I am not what you entered. I came back writing. Poem.
Ooh-wee, I'm gonna need y'all to unmute for that. Sheesh.
Yeah.
Ooh. I feel
Great arc in that. I really, felt like I really traveled that whole arc with you. And this kind of theme of losing yourself in another person or another, and, losing yourself in a relationship, and then it becomes this kind of dependency. And I was starting to think, where is this going? And you just ended it in a really concise way with that sort of emotional arc from dependency to release. I really felt that. And after listening to your work for several weeks, I'm really keying into how rich and visceral your imagery is. I really go for that kind of poetry.
I'm a co-sign. I'm a co-sign Skiff there and say yes, visceral. That piece, the definition of feeling visceral. Oh, we getting the playoff music as just a little celebration. That it felt.
Sorry, I just forgot to turn off the
okay,
clock. That was my
okay,
fault.
No, that felt honestly appropriate. I felt like that was the end credits. I felt like I had just watched Bones and All, but it was like the Dre version. Like the idea of consumption, like wanting someone so much, you literally are like you make out so hard, you're just literally consuming them and eating them. Like it felt like being consumed by a relationship. And poetry can feel like that. Poetry can feel smoldering. It can feel all encompassing, right? And if you hadn't told me that was about, I see the double sidedness and double sortedness of it, the entendres you built around everything, where it applied to both poetry, but it also applied to being consumed in love/lust. Yeah, Bones and All, the Drake. That's perfect. Yeah, because I literally felt that visceral energy like we're just like ravenous, right? And beautiful. You painted so beautifully with that poem, poet. Yeah, love seeing the array of things that we can do within our poems too. How everybody's poem is like its own portal, right? And speaking of storytellers, speaking of vessels, speaking of portals, we got part storyteller, part comedian, always coming with the real shit. I've been a fan of and a friend of this man for going on fucking 6 years now. And we've seen him grow from he is now daddy, Rich Glennon. And we welcome to the stage my friend and yours. Please give it up, y'all, for Rich Glennon.
Hey, Paul. Hey, everybody. Long time no see. Good to see you again. I'm just going to read 3 short poems from Rich Glenn on Tumblr and Instagram. The first one, these are 2 poems I wrote pretty recently. This first one is called Pretend. As I sat at the kitchen table well after the kids' bedtime and listened to them cry behind their closed bedroom door, it occurred to me their ponies, the imaginary ones, they were hell-bent on galloping out of their room time after time, regardless of their parents' wishes, would have tasted better with a dab of mint jelly. All right. This next one is called The Blizzard Outside My Window. The blizzard outside my window is like a savage held captive who halts and never ceases to make me believe it's finally asleep, till it thrashes and bucks with refreshed vigor against the glass, against the box from which I watch the tattered wall of settled snow swirl with the falling, and recall childhood friends knocking to see if I was home. And the last poem I'll be reading is actually from my debut book here, front to back, cover art by my daughter, Harper Glennon. There's a forward here by Elemental, and Finn was also was one of the editors of the book. So shout out to you guys. And I'll put a link to it in the chat after. But I'll be reading Baby Proofed. Okay, Baby Proof. I was smoking a cigar in the garage, watching the rain, when the door opened and my daughter appeared. My wife said she wanted to play outside, and play she did. She splashed in patient pools, fitted for her feet that waited until she connected. She rushed through paste drops, spaced far enough so she can see. She tasted on her pink leaf tongue the barbless water of summer. Thank you.
Oh man, that was so heartwarming. The last, all right, y'all, please give it up for Daddy Rich Glennon, y'all.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm always hit by how inventive you are with your associations in your poems, and you do that with these very short poems. I like the first poem that was just kind of a meditation on the children's bedtime, and there were a lot of surprises in your poem too because of how you make these kind of associations, almost like I want to think of like they're almost like a Rorschach test. You're experiencing this situation and then your poetic mind takes over. And I think that's just a really strong suit in your work, how inventive you are.
Absolutely. Yo, Paul Skiff, when are we getting the commentary series from Paul Skiff? When we seriously need a whole Paul Skiff workshop where he just offers feedback and critiques because you are like singular, friend. And yeah, so big up to the community, always giving love and wrapping arms around each other. And Rich, congrats on the pub, congrats on publication with PGN Publishing. Let me go back up and make sure I get it right. Poetry Global Network is announcing the debut poetry collection of 3 authors, and one of those incredible folks is Daddy Rich Glennon with the cover art. What is your cover artist name again, Rich? Your daughter?
Harper.
Harper. So Harper Glennon with her first publishing and art credit at like a tender age, right? That's real father shit, right? That's when we uplift and we bring our kids into art and oh man, that's a beautiful cover. Like if I saw that on a shelf, I would immediately be like, yep, that's it. That's going in. That's going in. Right? Like look at it. Like, oh my God. Incredible. Please, y'all, make sure you're following Rich, throw your socials in the chat in case anyone doesn't follow you. Now they could follow you. They could find your book. And he just dropped the link to cop that book in the chat, right? We love to see it. We love to see each other. Like we love to see a community uplifting each other into publication, into support of our craft, of our art. This is when tribe helps each other level up. And this is the thing, like it's not just networking. These are soul ties. This is real friendship that carries just beyond Zoom boxes and stages and workshop spaces. Genuinely, it becomes life-changing work, and so big ups to PGN, big ups to Finn Bell the Lighthouse, and the editors, the distributors, the publishers, everybody. It's so much love. All right, y'all. So we gonna keep it moving, keep it grooving. I saw one of our poets that's on the first half lift just transported into the room, but I'm gonna give Sam a little time to get themselves situated. I'm gonna move you after our next performers coming up to the stage. So I'm gonna give you a second to breathe. I'm gonna give us all a second to breathe and to prepare and to clutch our pearls and to ready and steady ourselves because we got a collab coming up, y'all. Coming up next to the stage, we have 2 incredible, indelible pillars of our online open mic community. They came at y'all with some 2 shit. They came at y'all with some I'ma write alongside you shit. So please, y'all, give so much love. Give a round of applause as we welcome coming up next to the stage both Lantern Carrier and Vale Larkin.
Greetings, good evening, everyone. Vale, are you ready?
Yep.
Yeah, so Vale is a very illustrious poet, and I am very humbled that they've decided to collaborate with me on this piece. I start. I am but the voice or melody of the soul, a conduit manifesting the glories of the love eternal. In this cosmic ocean of consciousness, I utilize the human psyche as instruments of a higher light.
I am a voice and a soul alone, but the conduit to a love eternal is as thin as thought-spun consciousness, that microcosmic miracle of narrow threads and dreams all webbed together.
Some use poetry to express their pain, healing, trauma, therapy, or survival, but I allow the heart to be caressed by an eloquence which permeates the ether, emits an invisible stream of energy to receptive beings.
I have used poetry to heal, writing myself into the self I can feel inside, bound by my body. For all my lifting up onto my toes, I have yet to fly from it, words escaping skyward instead.
Souls reach out to the healing rays of the invisible. Even as butterflies sing songs of freedom, having been metamorphosed from the cocoon, spring's white magnolias unfurl as the whistling willows calls my name.
Here we cling, incipient imago, imagining the ways skies sing. And I am singing my sky songs from my chrysalis and wishing for wings for us all, hanging paper bound and ink slick and singing and singing.
The beloved has given me a boon to see the moon blanketing the sunset, the twinkling stars dancing in the heavens so that nights would rejoice. Fireflies glow with a celestial beauty, awakening the romance that serenade lovers.
The moon and its melodies move me more and more in tidal rhythm. The stars lifting their voices, a choir of rejoicing, and the fireflies mirroring their scintillation in bewildering arcs, kinetic lacework in the sky.
Poetical eloquence do find their way to the Sacred Heart. I knew a woman on the verge of suicide who heard the life-stirring bars of a poet once and changed her mind. Such is the sanctity and power of the spoken word.
I knew someone on the verge, the sharp, slipping edge, and poetry pushed them over, flailing and unfurling like tossed feathers, and then they were flying, and the end of the world was the beginning.
There's a person I know who writes of anorexia, addictions, and traumas. Yet their verses are so filled with skill, brilliance, and vulnerability, I sometimes feel like weeping.
There's a person I know writing agony and regret into verses that cut like scissors, and their beauty is fierce, and their skill opens them up so their souls spill out.
What is the process of writing? Is there a thing as writer's block? In my journey of 4,000 poems, love does not let me feel this. Life speaks incessantly, and the cool breeze whispers our longings. Forests show their majesty, waves roll like many thunder, even as the skins lament the ferocity of the sun.
Who tells us where transcendence lives? Who shows us the blueprint for creation? How do we write universal beauty when the skies burn and the soil is oil slick and the air grates in our throats? Moon rolls and waves break even as we strive upstream through our brethren.
The earth massages my feet as I walk, grief pouring through a heart, weeping my auntie's departure to the heavenly realm. At nights I lay in a reverie, where my beloved enters. She speaks to me in images of love and nature, of cadence, and I rise prepared, pick up my pad and start writing. A line, ode, haiku, a free verse sonnet.
I pick up my pen and start writing, undone but free, verses like balms through my fingers and lips. I always whisper what I write, like someone is listening.
Daybreak sees me offering gratitude to Her Majesty. I rise, do my ablutions, then sit at my shrine. Sometimes words flow there too, and I rise unknowingly from an ecstatic inner caress. Yet I go to the laptop and type before the symphony of words I hold, like Mozart, disappears completely.
I always whisper when I pray, meditate alone, and too soft to be found out by listeners. The poems flow like port wine, rich and heady, and when ready, I rise and record what is left.
On my daily commute, at poetry sessions, in nature, the same thing happens. Everywhere are daisies, sunflowers, the smile of Mona Lisa, the compelling allure of benevolence that kisses my soul with its sweetness. Sometimes I see a tapestry of light. My core goes into a weepy joy and the heart sings.
Sometimes I see a tapestry of light through my bedroom door. Sometimes the roses on the walls outside run fuchsia frolicking down the stones and the concrete and the moss, emerald plush.
Each soul is unique, has its own narrative. But I love being utilized by the supreme puppeteer. She pulls my strings and I dance and sing like nightingales and bluebirds, both days and nights. I speak of the ecosystems, my vista of chats with flora and fauna, play with fawns on the Catskill Mountains, bathe in the light of Gaia's munificence and charm.
I love my dancing games with goddesses. I love my long and ponderous ponderings with them, our bright laughter, vivid intensity, the way they balance flowers in my hair.
Tonight it feels heavy, thick, and dark. There's war and talk of peace mundane, and Mother Gaia's luminance is tainted by suffering, a dearth of harmony in hearts. Love sends the incandescent Orion to instill faith in my journey.
Love sends light, light everywhere, shining in on us, our wars, our dark, thick feelings, and the peace we find so mundane till it comes. Blessed breath, singing star song.
I hear invisible strands of music, the songbirds of the eternal whispering sonatas, while we, divine souls, on this ever-transcending journey, strive diligently to find our way home. This has been the illustrious voice of Vale Larking and myself, the Lantern Carrier. Thank you.
Thank you.
In perfect timing, please, y'all, give it up for the incredible collab between Lantern Carrier and Vale Larking.
All right, how wonderful.
Amazing. Oh my gosh.
I need more fingers to snap. I need more of them.
Yeah, we really got to it this time between you two.
Yeah.
And, you know, the essence of what Lantern does, this whole thing about the poet as a channel, right? And you're really talking about a kind of spiritual commitment to an ideological view of harmony and looking for a kind of transformation, not only of the poet, but the listener and the world at large through the poem. I really like the parts of Vale's side of the equation where there were lines where you're just asking these questions, you know, as a kind of open inquiry. And the whole piece is kind of how the world speaks to you when you're a channel. And it's a type of soul listening. But I really just felt this time, Lantern, the real kind of focus of what your practice as a poet is, you know, the poet as a channel. And I do have to say, I totally feel the 2020 energy here with you two and then con Queso.
Yes, I feel it. I feel it. There's a magic. That piece was magic. Yeah, that was transcendent, right? That piece really, it became more. Your voices really just aligned, and the devices you each were using and pinging the voices back and forth. Like, that was a masterclass in collaboration. That was truly beautiful. Even y'all were so aligned that Lantern Carrier was like, and the cat skills mountain, and then Vale's cat jumped onto the screen almost as if like that was rehearsed. It's like, the cat skills. The cat's like, what about my skills? What y'all saying about me? In perfect timing, right? So like, you can't write that. You can't write that more perfectly. And Vale, I peep you with the Padawan braid, with the Jedi braid going on. I just want to say I see you. Vale always doing innovative things with their hair, right? And then Lantern always coming through with the beautiful collabs and ideas. I still have a collab with Lantern I never got to spit. So one of these days I'm gonna spin the block back when I'm not hosting, and me and Lantern are gonna hit y'all with that collab piece. I promise y'all, I got y'all soon. I feel the magic tonight too. Yeah, we travel back minus the, like toilet paper wars and being locked under lock and key. Gas is back up to 2020 prices. We don't love that. But yeah, y'all touched on such shared human commonalities, right? Like, even through our wars, we are blessed and all these things. It was just such a beautiful, ephemeral poem. And yeah, now I want to throw it too. We got one more poet because they portaled into the room. And we gonna give them the space and jump on the stage. And I'm really excited because their background's already giving me hints at their themes, at their piece, at the way they gonna speak. So please, y'all, welcome. Coming up next to the stage, give it up for Sam Hardy.
Oh. Hey, everyone. Sorry to be late like that, but I didn't know I had another commitment. All right, here we go. So I have some new pieces that I've just wrote, so new shit. This first one is called Ghosts. Scream on paper, write it down. That moment when the words refuse to stay inside, trapped, stifled, silence. Scream on paper, escape the muzzle placed in us all by society, upbringing, our own inner critic. Scream on paper, let out the ghost of an over-criticized youth, back when we were taught to be polite, stay silent, be seen, not heard. I scream on paper because I was punished for screaming in real life, because the world rewarded quiet girls with approval in smaller cages, because paper was meant for academics, proving intelligence, not for feelings. Now my voice travels places my body cannot. I scream on paper because the world needs to hear all the ghosts trapped in my throat. The next one's a little lighter. It's called Spoonful of Sugar. Sugar wasn't really good for you, but medicine was. So being told that a spoonful of sugar would make the medicine go down made very little sense to me as a child. I knew very early on that silence made things peaceful, so I embraced the hush, kept shum, kept quiet. Back then, truths remained unspoken. The truth of childhood was be seen, not heard. Most things were medicine while I was growing up, while very few things were sugar. The next one is called Aasha, A-A-S-H-A. It means hope, desire, and wishes. I breathe your name on the wind, in cobbled streets, on ferry boats, to the seagulls we once fed cements to. I breathe your name in small glasses of black tea, heat rising upward. Only one sugar now, knowing full well you would approve. I breathe your name on lonely nights, the small rooms with only a bed and the glow of a laptop to comfort me. I breathe your name both softly and screaming, on paper, words pouring out like hot lava, spelling how deeply I miss you. I breathe your name into the ether with Aasha, hope, desire, wishes as my chosen language. And then on the lighter side, I wrote this morning. Morning shadows. Most mornings I crawl out of bed, sleep in my eyes, confusion in my head. I stumble through my room, a little grumpy, no smile, no skippy tune. While I walk through the house, a sudden shadow follows me. One cat, now two cats. They just won't let me be. They follow me to the kitchen, to the bedroom, to the toilet, where they sit and stare. But I cannot help but smile. They definitely lighten my mood, which is very good, which in the end is very good. Sorry. God, I'm losing my mind. And my last one, where'd it go? It was right here 2 seconds ago. I'm sorry. Hold on. Damn it. You've absolutely lost my poem.
That's okay, Sam. I mean, it happens sometimes. What we can do is we can follow you and we can make space for you on next week's online open
Yeah,
mic.
that's fine. That's fine. I'm done.
Yeah.
I'm done
But
anyway. Cool.
regardless, I don't want to dismiss the beauty and the brilliance of that entire set just because of a technical difficulty. So I'm gonna unmute, and we're gonna give so much love to Sam for hitting us with 3 incredible pieces. Please give it up, y'all, for Sam Hardy.
Yeah.
Sam, I heard I think the first poem a couple times, and each time it's better. It gets better and better. I think I just hear something new, but I feel it different, and I appreciate you. I love it. Thank you. Well, I love it. Thank you. I love them all, but thank you.
Yeah, really kind of keying in on what Paul said. It was kind of like a display of your range, through these poems. The first one, a confessional. The second one, a kind of meditation on sugar. The third one was this poem that was really rang with melancholy. Trying to obtain this one thing that's always eluding you, and then you end with this kind of light-hearted domestic scene. So that was a really wonderful tour of your talents.
Genuinely, you put that beautifully, Skiff. Yeah, you took us on an experience. You took us on a journey. And I feel like the journey was exactly what it needed to be. Sometimes we get caught up and we're like, oop, I missed the poem. Exactly like just when you download it in divine time, it's what it was meant to be. And you gave us a lot to process. And that first poem was, it maybe it's because I'm just an emo at heart, but that one resonated with me so much. And then you're like, oh, I'm so sorry. On a lighter note, no, fuck us up all the time. I feel like you took my heart and like did the background of your screen, like boom, 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 but in a good way, the good hurt, the hurt that is catharsis. So thank you for that. Thank you for bringing that to the stage tonight. And again, more cats, right? Even Sam was like, oh, and my cats. And I'm like, oh, the cats are making their ways into the poem. They're making their way onto the screen. Then I saw we got Catman Bill, who's always got cats on the scene, right? I feel like it's just like, tonight is also cat night. Somewhere in the ether, it was like, yeah, it's the blueprint, but it's also the paw print, but yeah, it's beautiful. We're living for it. I love it. We're focus up in a good way. So what we're gonna do now is, even though he's not here with us tonight, he is here in spirit. Look at the cat emoji. And the cats are like, literally, we're here. It's a oh, Paul Mike. So we're gonna go to the break now. We're gonna let L hit us. He's not here, but he's always here in spirit. He's watching us. He's like Santa. He is the spirit of poetry coming, downloading. We gonna hit you with Elemental's halftime announcement. So get yourself a break, listen in, and I'll see y'all on the other side.
Good evening, and thank you for tuning in to the online open mic with the greatest community in the world. Week after week, you keep this flame of artistry burning with a light that transcends time, distance, and borders. Now, welcome to the Halftime Report. I'm your correspondent. My name is Elemental, bringing you the latest news and upcoming events, proudly presented by the legendary New Eureka Poets Cafe. Stay tuned, stay inspired, and as always, keep creating. The New Eureka Bowery Slam, happening every Monday at the Bowery Poetry Club in New York City, hosted by Luna Rosa and Jay Rose. Winner receives a $20 cash prize and a chance to compete in the final Friday Slam. Occurring on the last Friday of the month at the Lower East Side Center at 7 p.m. Hosted by Matthew Marroquin and Paul con Queso. Winners from the New Eureka Bowery Slam compete against each other for a $100 cash prize and a chance to compete in our annual Grand Slam. Plus, there's a Twilight Hour open mic hosted by Cap Come Through and The Score. For more details on the slam season, including rules, winners, and current year scoreboard, go to neweurekan.org/slam. Our open mics at the Lower East Side Center are all kinds of incredible. The venue records high-quality audio and video of all performances, and they are live streamed to the Lower East Siders and New Eurekan YouTube channels. All except our first Wednesday of every month, we have Women's Orator Wednesday, aka WOW, hosted by 2024 Grand Slam champion Somebody's Mama. The remaining Wednesdays of the month, we have the New Eurekan Open Mic, hosted by Brian Acosta Aria, aka Brian the Motel Guy. Make sure you plug in. It is going to be something special. Our online programs, which are absolutely free, include the online open mic hosted by yours truly, weekly on Thursdays via Zoom and live stream on YouTube. All styles are welcome. Every artist has 4 minutes to rock with new themes every week. The Slam Workshop, happening on the second Tuesday of every month via Zoom, hosted by the National Youth Poet Laureate Stephanie Pacheco. When you sharpen your craft, you sharpen your performance. Make sure you plug in. There are many other in-person and online events coming up. For info and tickets of all the programming, you can go to neweurekan.org/calendar. Our social media and website and other links, including how to sign up for the mailing list, you go to our Linktree/New Eurekan Poets Cafe. Visit our YouTube channel to catch past live streams of online and Lower East Side Center open mics, beatniks, and special events at Battery Park City, Poetry House, and NJ Pack. The New Eurekan Poets Cafe is a non-profit 501c3 organization based in New York City on the Lower East Side. Ticket sales and grants don't cover all of our programs and operations expenses. So here are ways that you can help support us in our mission to continue with moving poetry forward. Our merchandise, shirts, hats, and tote bags available for purchase at our New York table and in-person events, or go to newyorrican.org/merch. Spring and summer collection coming soon. Also, check out and subscribe to our Patreon site. Gain access to video recordings of in-person events not available online for the public. Go to patreon.com/New Eurekan Poets Cafe. Special thanks to our tech team, our programs and operations team, all of our hosts, our executive director, and all our sponsors for helping us to continue to move our artwork forward. We appreciate you for all your continued support, helping us to keep the spirit of artistry and inspiration of poetry alive and moving forward through the spirit of our founder. Brought to you by Elemental Vision Works, inspiring change through passionate poetry and creative production.
Your energy and passion truly make this community something special. Thank you for all your artistry and your genius. Truly can't thank you enough.
We appreciate you. Now, back to the show. Peace.
We are so blessed. We are so blessed to have him. I want to. He can't hear it, but I'm sending. I'm sending out into the atmosphere, into the universe. My storm god brother Elemental with that beautiful halftime announcement. Y'all heard all the events that are going on this month and every month. And just a little sneak preview for y'all, because we are promoting this coming week, but I haven't told everyone the inside track. So for the Final Friday Slam, I co-host that with Matthew Marroquin. This coming Final Friday, which is going to happen a week from tomorrow on the 27th at the Lower East Side Center on East 9th Street. We are having a theme of women in history, right? Where we want folks to show up with something in appreciation of, a nod to, a piece of apparel, a little pin, something in honor of any poet, female poet or woman or femme being throughout history, right? It doesn't have to be a poet. It can be any figure, any femme figure. And I am gonna, if y'all want to see me dressed in drag as La Bruja, then y'all got to pull up in person or buy yourself an online ticket, because Maddie is dressing up as another member of our staff, but I'm gonna be dressed up as La Bruja, complete with the two little doggies. So yeah, if y'all want to see that, if you want to come celebrate and have the opportunity to sign up for our lottery slot or grace the Twilight open mic hosted by Cap after the slam wraps up, then join us, y'all. Join us, because we'd love to have you. Pero we gonna keep the good vibes flowing. This has been a magical night. It has been a cat night. So I don't know what, like, themes just organically be rolling out. Reminder, sign up for the good luck round. There is still space. I'm a post in a second while our next performer is giving us the blessings, the Jedi lessons. I'm gonna throw the list up there so folks remember what the order is and when to expect to come up. Pero somebody who's been a gift and a blessing all night, been a gift and a blessing always since the founders days, that's been doing it on these Lower East Side streets that I've had the blessing and the opportunity to chop it up with at a ton of in-person events. I want to give reverence and love to a fellow Paul, but he does it own. He all his own. He about to take us to the Skiff verse, y'all. Please give it up for the Jedi Master himself, Paul Skiff.
It's so good you're here, infusing this place with your energy tonight, Paul. I'm just going to read short bits off the same poem I read some short bits off last week. There'll be a little overlap, and since it's out of context, it won't make sense. I want to take your attention kite flying on an awareness typhoon. Where in the indifference of the universe can be found what causes your consciousness? But the puzzle of consciousness still hides in absence measured by inner purposes. May a machine emanate the attribute of grace? Is a machine able to enjoy the asset of profit? Does a machine practice the virtue of goodwill? Can a machine be slothful or bored? Is it possible a machine endures distress? Can water suffer? Will mercy ever be dispensed by a mountain? Does compassion sway a flame? May a fly own real estate? Is it possible for snow to be inspired? Is faithfulness a trait possessed by tides? If we know the answers, then why is personhood status no human being can give? Upon what branch of the human tree did sorrow first sprout? How primordial is the anguished blossom? Through what art did the ancestors of happiness establish their abode in our emotions, then procreate the bringer of smiles? Still, I only know love exists to keep my heart alive by offering passion up for nothing from motive to be a nameless kind of not wanting. The gift of fulfillment is selflessness spoken backward by another's pleasure. My body inflamed my brain's attention, fingers describing for parietal lobe how your nipples are hard and stand erect. My consciousness moans your pleasure, but the joy is yet not cause of my knowing. Like consciousness of the house smells bacon and is not pleased when the bath water is too hot. From this I know consciousness and its cause are so close. The proximity is the optimism that cracks a seed from within. Probably my question is purposeless, as when I met your promise in the street and it told me the truth about what you hid behind commitment. Can I know your promise is truthful, or must I just believe it? I use what I do not know as the tool for leaving myself, so the me that is unchanged recedes below the growth of apprehension. That is why I go stand in the gale over the breakwater on the edge of a frozen sea in a temperature too low to feel, so my skin has no purpose. Reason I prolong our orgasm to be only the energy shaking within the self as our breath is one rush of the interior and exterior, inseparable as spasm from pleasure. Why I alter my consciousness with a substance to amplify the universe, expanding my awareness like a rhetorical question asking the cause of perception to give up the reason behind thought. Listening to my voice, you are hearing the loom of influences upon which I am woven. If you knew the cause of your consciousness, you would be able to turn the universe off. You could go to the cause and ask for more. You would no longer be an accident, but a deliberate mistake. You would suddenly know where here actually irrefutably is. As a part of forever, you would hear yourself for the very first time and be exhilarated by dissolving in our togetherness. I challenge you to do this, but you have to not fear we will all at once become each other. So know you risk the sacredly imprisoned individuality of your own self if you fuck with this.
Ooh-wee. Oh man, the dismount at the perfect time. Please, y'all, give it up for Paul fucking Skip. Woo. Woo.
Damn, brother was talking about it may not make sense to you. Holy. You better be connected, even if it's by a thread, my brother. Thank you so much.
The universal
I love your work,
thread.
baby.
That was amazing, Paul. Thank you, man. Whoa.
I feel like we just raised. Go ahead.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm just thank you. Every time you read, I stop breathing, and then I realize it's just so. Thank you. Fuck. Thank you.
I feel like that was beautifully put, right? Like the literal consumption of poetry that Dre was talking about. It's a continuation of that feeling, right? Like when Paul Skiff starts Paul Skiffing, right? Literally, you can feel like ancestral downloads. You could feel spiritual awakenings and shiftings and vibrations. That's why we call it the skip verse. We believe in reality. We be entering other dimensions, and thank you, Paul, for the continual gift that you are, for being a connective thread always to the founders, right? And we love you. We love your presence, uplifting every room. For the feedback you give others, we return right onto you. Too many lines to quote. Like, my brain's kind of melted a little bit after that, but we gonna recover. We gonna bring it back. We're gonna keep it going, keep it flowing. I'm loving tonight. Tonight is beautiful because now we gonna turn off. We gonna pivot. We gonna go from a pillar to another. She has been a beacon, a lighthouse. Some of y'all know her as a goddess warrior of poetry. I know her as Miss Finn Bow. Please, y'all, give it up for Finn.
Thank you so much. It's really lovely to see you, Paul, and good to see you, everybody. My new familia. I just wanted to share two tanka and a older poem. I recently was invited to join a tanka roundtable, so I've been writing tanka again every day. And here is yesterday's and today's. March 18th. Balmy weather endures sure tonic to what ails me. Indoors, the storms a brewin', hope in the night distills calm. Balmy weather endures sure tonic to what ails me. Inside, the storms a brewin', hoping for the night distills calm. March 19th. Constance tilts each leaf downward and faces west. She drinks up the last sun, innocent of the light flash, who spirits her soul away. Constance tilts each leaf downward and faces west. She drinks up the last sun, innocent of the light flash, who spirits her soul away. And this is an older piece. I did this 2023 for New Year's Elixir of Life theme. The floor will appear until where I next step. The door is where the world ends. Yet, this is where I am, loving phantoms, pressing my hand upon the peeling wallpaper. I do not stall them from seeping out of walls, exposing my ghost arms to the sun and watching as they dissolve. We are helpless as the apparitions escape the house. They have known the places unseen, understand boundaries, disregard them. The wide world outside of you becomes the seduction riding the atmosphere, fast becoming reality. You long to exist in the beyond. Among them, you put one foot before the other, but do not comprehend this is not for you. The ground will fall out from beneath. Outside, the world is overwhelming as it closes in around your head. Sky a pale powder of smoke halos you. You realize snowflakes can be minute, can fit on the tip of your little finger, can be one in a billion miraculous iterations, present in the harmonious blanket of silvery 8-point blades, and still each one pleads to be unique. You pretend to be Kai, claim the ice catching in your lashes are pieces of glass, occluding your sight, freezing your heart. You have made up your mind to call this your excuse to shed the burden of caring. Where you shun the searing pressed kiss, the hot tears that wet down your resolve. You do not want your Gerda, because Gerda is the spring, because Gerda smells of the rose petals tickling your cheeks. You used to pull off her thorns one by one just to excite to the bright crimson blood, pulsating sensation from your pricked finger. You don't want your Gerda because Gerda's heartbeat is too familiar. And the heart is home, and home is love, and love is too damn frightening. The roses ceased to bloom. This summer, she put one foot out in front of the other, seeking you, swallowed by the flurries, gray flint arrows in the billions. The garden abandoned circles the house. Senile and mad, they reminisce. Thank you.
Hoo-wee, hoo-wee. Oh, I need y'all to unmute and give some love to Ben, y'all.
Ben, that was wonderful. That was really, really great. Thank you.
Yeah, I'm keen in on what Michael Sindler brought up last time, just how dynamic your writing is. And going back to sort of one of my favorite characteristics, years ago, they used to call some of these types of poems a kind of interior landscape, because the poet is traveling around through their own sensibilities. I especially was drawn in by the last poem, with these lines, and again, it's kind of like the poet as a channel for the natural world, and these themes in the poem about change and how you can't turn the world off. It's going to keep happening to you, and you have to process it the best way you can.
Ooh. Yes. Yeah. How as a poet we can't help but turn to interiority as a means to process the exterior world. And Finn, there's a reason we call her the lighthouse, because she be beaming us all in, and then sending it back out, right, in that light. Just beautiful. And again, talking about like being a master of craft, talking about formulating poetry in community. Finn is one of those incredible resources. From a Tonka group to a Nuyo prompt, Poetry Month is on its way. The 30 for 30 is on its way. So make sure you are all networking, whether it is with PGN or whether it is with any of these other networks of poetry. Lock in, because there's so many places you can find inspiration, and so many places that once you are moved by each other and are challenged by each other, then y'all come and bring it here and then share it on this platform in this stage. I love it. I love to see it. Finn has been giving us all prompts since 2020. And I love to see when the poem itself becomes a prompt, because it inspires you. It makes you want to tap into that interiority too. All right. So speaking of prompts, speaking of incredible creators that fill spaces, I've seen this next poet not only grow so much, but tap into so many incredible workshop spaces and take their craft and elevate it. So I'm really honored to bring up next to the stage. Please make some noise, y'all, for Principe.
Tonight I'll be sharing two poems. The first one we call Divine Force. Soulful as the lively child dancing without care, but emotional like Pacific Northwest springs. They float in the air as particles, but dance in every human. It's in everything. We breathe it, we feel it, we don't hear it. The spirit is something that can't be outsourced, because it's divine, God. And the second one is titled, Death is Not My Destination. Death situates itself on my interior decorating my soul frequency, reaching rooms that are vacant, hoping to stay, but the Dharma won't let it. I meant to live as a word flying, transcribing every emotion, emitting from my soul. But thank you.
Ooh-wee. Okay, I needed to process. All right, y'all, unmute and give some love to Principe.
I was hoping for more, but that was great. Thank you.
The best compliment. The best compliment. When it leaves us wanting more.
Yeah, totally. I always like to hear more from Principe. In these poems, you really are talking, you're delivering truths to us. And I had this feeling of, I wanted to hear more too, but that's part of almost like the pleasure of the poem because you're just left with these kinds of revelations you have to confront. And that's kind of the beauty of it. And, you are just one of the people I hear most frequently here who has just really mastered concision in your poetry, And you can say a person of few words, but there's so much packed into your poems in a kind of intuitive way.
That notion of wanting to hear more, that's the thing that resonates with the listener, the audience, the other poets that are inspired by, okay, well, what happens next? And it keeps one thinking about where you left them. So thank you so much for sharing what it is that you're growing through Principe.
Yes. Love and thank you from like a brilliant count. See, when you getting compliments from Skiff and Norm back to back, and you have our incredible poets like Dre being like, we wanted more, more. That's the springboard of poetry. That is the thing that is the continuously perpetually filling cup. You pour into us, and then we're like, oh damn, I love that so much. I'm gonna go write my own. Death is not an invitation. I forget the title of it, but the title itself was a poem, right? And that's when poems become prompts for our own poems, right? And that's the beauty of it, is a poet can inspire us so much. We're like, I'm gonna go write my own ending to that, or I'm gonna go write my own retort to that. And that's the beauty of the poetry community, is every time we're listening, right, we are being influenced and shaped and inspired, right? By death is not my destination. Thank you, Skiff. Right. I want to go write my own death is not my destination. I might make it a final destination poem because I love horror and I might just internalize that in my own weird way. Right. But we ingest the beauty and the conciseness, as Skip said. That's something I yearn for and I can't find because I'm a man of too many words. Pero that's why we love and appreciate each other's craft and each other's voice, is we can admire the things others possess and then be like, damn, I love that. I want to write a Principe poem. Right. And then we go and we do that and we bring it back and we're like, look how much that you've influenced me and you've moved me. So we become each other's muses. And that's beautiful. All right. So speaking of muses, speaking of storytellers, speaking of kind of tapping into that collective consciousness, we've got a storyteller coming up next. Welcome, Agrio himself, Ike Waltz, to the stage.
Look at Wiki and find the word textroverts. Two textroverts having a date facing by default, dancing their keyboard in sync, silence by default. The art of concentration, I am told. Two devices having a date facing by default, isolation, I am told. Fingers flipping in sync, silence by default, isolated concentration by default. Two textroverts having a date, facing by default, texting until late, devices burning eyes, both, so I'm told, enjoyed that day. Digitalization without emotions, nothing is neither too hot nor cold. Two devices having a date in their digital delight, they sip their espresso bits by bites, look deep into their digital ground, emoji hearts tell it, pixel sharp, let's undress each other, let's have sex together. Two textroverts, two devices, alive side by side, ask, how do you undress? And why tonight? Yes, we are texting, burning keys, indulge in a sexy blot. Let's do it tonight, why not? Isolated emotions, pixel sharp, with no protection, expecting homogenation with a super heart. But both devices never had a fuck. Constipated, they freeze and shut. Cut was their last breath, and that in a major scream, pixel sharp. I barely overheard that following with, but great, let's text exploration and set a new date, sooner the better, what either one must have better said. But it's never too late. Two textroverts flip the flap into the top and pack their lap into a huckepack sock. their security firewall, the invisible comfort zone, information technology floats them in a cloud which stores us all, which accesses us all in a joyous app which fucks us all, embedded in a coded chip, melancholy and ecstasy, bandwidths expressed in digital jubilee. Access point security? I'm data in download mode, communication without text. Words copulate at the speed of light. Data is the new sex, okay? Flipping devices, foreplay by default. The millennials will get old, so is the emoji cord. And in meanwhile, let the emojis do the talking. Emojis read the future without that language wall. Emojis transform the abstract. Digital images stimulate our urge to have a simulated fuck. Two textroverts have a date. Two emojis don't mind getting fucked up. And there is me. I just like to have a date with you or anybody wants the fucking mate.
Yes. Okay. I need y'all to unmute and give so much love to Ike Vaults, y'all. Oh man.
Wow. Wow, what a word, man. I'm gonna have to remember that.
Two textroverts.
Which one?
Yeah, he was inventing all these cool phrases, textroverts, emojinations. It's a kind of classic modernist nightmare of humanity, right? The first part of the poem was really centering on, computers or machines becoming human. And the satire is how those machines or computers are kind of struggling with how awkward being a human is. And, again, it's one of the things you do the best is taking elements of pop culture, showing how we're all enthralled to them, and then just running rampant with a satire on them. It's just so wonderful, and all the different layers. And I like one of the lines at the end about data is the new sex.
Yes, data's the new sex, and in the end, it fucks us all, right? That was so potent. That I feel like I could sit here and unpack that poem for hours. Like genuinely, I said in the chat, I'm like, damn, I'm jealous. I didn't write this poem or come up with this concept. It was so magnificent. Like it felt like the movie Her, but distilled into an even further extrapolation where now AI is trying to repopulate human emotion and connection and eroticism. And it's just like that desperation to connect across the digital divide, but it is a divide, right? And so it's like, just that desperation. Yeah, and it's wild. You took us on a ride, Ike. You really took us on a ride there. And then Ike dropping the F bombs, right? Like that's always a delight too, to hear somebody Ike comes on, you expect him to be prim and proper, but no, he gonna hit us with the satire. He gonna hit us with the explicitness and the reality. And that's a beauty that you possess in your storytelling, Ike. So thank you for bringing it to us tonight. All right, so we gonna keep the list flowing. We gonna keep the beauty of tonight going, because coming up next to the stage, no Lin Manuel. We got our own Miranda. So please, y'all, welcome coming up next to the stage. Give it up for Ruth Miranda.
Thank you. So I think this is the first time I've seen you host, so welcome and thank you for having me. I follow you on Insta, so I know your work, love it. So yeah, so this is it's a piece built around voice and how identity shapes rhythm, and how rhythm shapes meaning, becomes meaning. So everybody it's been a couple of weeks since I've been part of the team or the group. So I've been working hard on my book. I'm in the editing. It's there and the editing stage, doing all those little final edits. So hopefully it'll be out soon. I can't wait. So this one is part of it. Those that are not familiar with the work that I'm doing, it's poetry on identity. It's 3 volumes. This one is volume 1 on roots, where soy boricua geography doesn't define me. This one is my accent is my own. I don't sound native. I don't sound gringa. I live right in the middle, a space they couldn't name. So I named it with my cadence, my truth, my flame. My space wasn't taught to me. My Spanish wasn't taught to me. It caught me from mothers in the market, from neighbors on the stoop, from the novelas that raised me like a second language troop. Whew. I learned by wanting the sound, not by tearing it apart. I learned by letting Spanish move straight through my heart. And when the Spanish jumps out first before English gets its turn, I'm reminded that some things are remembered, not learned. I'm not ashamed of how I speak, not one slip, not one bend. I don't flinch when a word gets tangled at the end. Because when others speak English and the grammar is not tight, we lift them with patience and we say, you'll get it right. But my Spanish stumbles and suddenly they decide I'm not Boricua enough. I'm not Boricua inside. Oh, really? Well, let's get this clarified. I didn't learn Spanish with a workbook page. I learned it through lineage, through culture, through age. Through the Taino's whisper that hums in my bones, through the African rhythm that drums like a throne, through the Spanish word passed down but reshaped as my own, my accent isn't broken, it's blended, extended, rooted, defended. My rhythm, the world didn't lend, I inherited and then amended. I don't need to mimic your sound to claim what's already mine. My identity isn't measured by your narrow little line. So when you hear me speak, don't label me, don't grade me, don't ask where I fit. Just listen to the rhythm and the root of all of it. Every syllable is history, every word is a sign. You don't have to like my accent, but you will respect the design. Porque este acento es mío, noted, rooted, blended by design. I'm not learning a language, I'm reclaiming a bloodline.
Huepa, eso. All right, please unmute and give some love to the Boricua. Wordsmith herself. Give it up for Ruth Miranda, y'all.
Real nice piece. Thank you. Thank you very much.
That was fantastic, Ruth. Beautiful.
That really sums up like that liminal space for people who like bilingual but dialects, and that really just I felt that, and I just love the power behind it. Like I'm speaking, and that's enough, and it's right because I said it. This is really good. Thank you for that.
Punto final. Lo que
Yeah,
sale de la
it's
boca.
really right.
If you can't understand me, then all you need to do is ask. Don't assume nothing. Shit, don't give me that grammar bullshit. And code switching is our language.
Yes.
And we understand. Thank you.
Yeah, cool.
Yes.
You know, what a brilliant point. Yeah, I mean, the theme of the whole poem is really, socialization. And, I really take to heart what you're teaching about it. First, that language is the heart of our socialization, right? That's how we get socialized. It's communicated to us that way. And it definitely becomes part of your essence because it starts when you start hearing, and that's day one. And I think, I really connected with this point, I think you're teaching, if I may say so, about, the argument is about the contest of authenticity. And what people need to understand is authenticity has a million different branches. It's not just one a silo. It's not, one, forgetting what the word is. It's not
Monolith?
just one. Yeah, there you go. Thank you. Thank you, sir. So I really, really was struck by that. And I really appreciate your insight for somebody who's not Latino, and that's, I'm going to say it again. This is one of the reasons the New Eurekan Poets Cafe exists, is for this kind of teaching and this kind of bringing a collectivity together so we're not separated and we're not ignorant of each other. And I really give you praise for that.
Big praise coming from Paul Skiff, right? Whose proximity to the Nuyorican itself. And that was a beautiful distillation of, I think, the Nuyorican experience, right? Being a conflation, a mix of cultures and languages, and saying you're not enough this, you're too much that, or you're too much this and not enough that, and the judgment that comes with it. You know, as a Nosabo myself, growing up not speaking the tongue, always what our ear hears and we pick up on becomes our tongue. And whatever we speak is enough for us, because our ancestors didn't speak Spanish anyway. It's a colonizer language, so reject it. What you feel in your heart, what pulses in your bloodline, is the rhythm of your language. Your language is, your tongue is always the tongue of your ancestors, because it's in you. It is you, right? And that's the beauty. I won an award for like Taino Poet of the Year in 2024. And I'm like, me, the person who grew up and everybody told me like I'm not Boricua enough because I'm like a second, third culture kid. It's okay to come to it in whatever way it comes to you. And that was the beauty of your piece, Ruth, is just that you were unapologetic and you were rejecting the judgments and the hierarchy. You know, you really like, you dismantled the hierarchy and said, I'm going to talk my tongue and talk my shit, whatever accent it comes out in, you're going to hear mi patria. And it was beautifully put. Again, the kind of lessons, the kind of things that the Nuyorican was founded on, and we bring to, you know, we're blessed to be a platform for storytellers of all tongues, of all backgrounds and cultures and experiences. Our founders are rooted in the Nuyorican experience, and it is a place of feeling like diasporic, right? Do we really have a home if we don't speak from where we were born? And it's like, where we are becomes, you know, where we are born becomes who we are, you know? And so being a Nuyorican is a beautiful thing, a thing to celebrate, and not to be shamed for. So I think wherever we find ourselves rooted today, that's who we are meant to be, right? Thank you for that. And it was put so rhythmically too. Like there was so much bounce to that poem, right? So when you came in, that was also the perfect intro. Y'all are making this a magical night. We gonna keep the rhythm going, because we got now an interjection of themes, right? We've been bouncing around with the language and the music and our words, and now we gonna get some literal music. And it's also been cat night, so I feel like it's only appropriate that we turn the dial over right now to the OG cat representative of this online Nuyorican space. Let's give it up for Catman Bill, y'all.
Thank you, sir. Look, I don't know, I don't have it all planned out. I wanted to start with a little bit of an absurdist bit of information. I'm in a battle with my hair. I've always been in a battle with my hair. I was kicked out of a Catholic school, grade school, for refusing to cut my hair. And then through the years, you know, hair started growing everywhere I didn't want it to grow. It stopped growing where I always wanted it to grow. And it grows out of my nose, grows around my hairline, it grows on my chest. You know, what do you think I do these days? Well, I shave my chest and I turn them into hairballs. You know, I can't have flowers in my house because I have cats around. So what do? I turn an epigen into my hairballs. So what? So I'm going to sing this song that I wrote a few years ago that's even more poignant today. And it's called Blue Days. I like the sunshine every day, even like the rains of early May. Cold winds are fine on a winter's day. I want it all to stay this way. One thing I don't like, and you could guess, the ass in the White House making a mess. There are good people and bad ones wherever you go. Just seems like the bad ones are stealing the show. They'll twist and shout, make others scream. Their deeds are causing a horrible swing. I like the sunshine every day, even like the rains of early May. Cold winds are fine on a winter's day. I want it all to stay this way. You've been sold a high-priced bill of goods. He'll turn all your friends into mean ugly hoods. He'll say he's done nothing wrong at all, then put you in detention halls. thing I don't like, and you could guess, the ass in the White House making a mess. I like the sunshine every day, even like the rains of early May. Cold winds are fine on a winter's day. I want it all to stay this way. A Trump sandwich is made out of white bread. It's full of bologna with a Russian spread. Day and night is what we're fed. He tweets and he feeds as more lay dead. I like the sunshine every day, even like the rains of early May. Cold winds are fine on a winter's day. I want it all to stay this way. I want it all to stay this way. Thank you.
I'm gonna need y'all to unmute. Let's give so much love to Catman Bill with that beautiful
Where
rendition.
can we download it? That is so dope.
Yes.
I want to download it for real.
Really?
Genuinely, yeah, that's a signal to you, Catman. You got to be on a platform downloading this stuff with sound, whether it's SoundCloud, Spotify, wherever. We need that. We need that.
I have done a what do you call it? I've been in the studio with it. Actually, I was supposed to be on the bill in a local big rally, but I was bounced for some unknown reasons, and unfortunately. But anyway, thank you so much.
Yes, thank you, Catman. Well, we rebuke those who would bounce you out of any platform or showcase. Create the stage, showcase yourself, right? So the demand is here, the digital demand. Upload it and then come and share it with your community. And you already know you got a bunch of listeners who will plug in, download, stream, whatever way it comes about. You know, just create the means. If it's not there, we gonna build it, right? So thank you again, Catman. I think just really aligned with the energy in the room tonight. A really a nice little rebel yell, and now he's got the bouquet of the the hairballs, a bouquet of hairballs, a chandelier of cat accoutrements. Yeah, and Skiff said you are the American song, Catman. I love it. And again, this is the variety of the variety show. Like I live for this community. I love this community. I'm glad to be reunited with y'all tonight. I'd be so busy. I'd be so busy. But this is a reminder I need to make time for my online fam always. As much as I show out for Poet Tribe in person, I've missed it here. This feels like home. And speaking of home, this poet to me has been an hermano. He's a griot. He is such a gift. He's so giving with all of his words, his input, his feedback. This is before we even reach his poems, right? Just who he is as a person. He shows up as a bouquet, an endless surplus of beauty in the world and revelation and recognition for the human experience. I want y'all to give it up for the teacher, the preacher, the maestro, Norm Mathematics, y'all.
Oh, here we go. Here we go. Okay, thank you so much, Con Queso, for the intro. And I love this community. And that's not even an excuse for me coming back here every Thursday, okay? Sometimes it's just for the listen. So here we go. I got these two pieces, and I think that they are following the theme for this evening, talking about blueprints. First piece, breaking down the pedestal of love's sandcastle architecture. The tide, a moat in motion, time limited to blueprints drawn on waterproof paper. Plans subject to sea changes, rip currents undermine the sandy loam foundation. Hope at risk of sliding into the surf, lost at sea. undercurrents, underground, undercut fiber optic images of designer dreams, too many shadows in the light of dusk, timing reality, a hazard. A moat misfunction signals a fear assessment on high alert. Encoded message scrawls across chicken skin. Status quo keepers suggest you bring kindling to lay at the foot of unfinished bridges, and yet you collect tinder for the chilled hearts in the castles of our hearts. Where dreams are created, the same places where dreams are treated for smoke inhalation. Wake dream keepers to bring sage, and EMTs to heal the wind and the bodies. Hire civil engineers to redesign labyrinth paths to peace of mind. Be gentle with lives never lived like this for the first time. No muscle memory to remember how to get home safe in a strange land. Next piece. A reformation forms collective skin. An arc opens. Free the tribe. Breathe open skies. Hum a trajectory to reach light, love, space. Attract labyrinth truths. Strung from memories, sliding spirit, swirling beneath thunder. Confident descendants attract blueprints. Find balance in all the betweens. Reach for the crescent moon that hangs from phoenix wings, parts of the same circle. We are collective skin. Peace.
Sheesh. Oh man, what a beautiful note to dismount on. We are collective skin. Give it up, y'all. I need y'all to give so much love to Norm, Maestro,
Woo!
Mathematics, y'all.
Wow. Wow. Collective skin, man. That was wonderful.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's one of those phrases I want to see up on a billboard. Um, the first piece too was really getting me going. The first part of it was really kind of teaching, the lesson that love is a dynamic. It's not something that's fixed and stays the same. But the poem became so dynamic itself with the near the end of the poem, you bring in this whole other metaphor instead of the kind of liquid dynamic that was at the beginning. You're talking about the castle. And I'm really enthralled at your skill of wielding these kind of multi layered allegories, Norm.
Yes. The dancing layer, right, of allegory and metaphor that he met us at the beach and carried us to the sea, but brought us back to the sandcastle. And then the collective skin, like the idea, if we saw ourselves more like a fabric together, unified, right? Like an exquisite corpse stitched together of all of our identities and who we are. That's the collective empathy, right? And if we felt more of that, we might have more harmony than the discordant way that we seem to, that not us here, but society prefers to like turn us on each other, against each other for our innate identities. That was such a beautiful, beautiful tapestry. Did you want to tap in, Norm? I saw you raising your hand. Yeah, jump in.
Yeah, that part, what you were just getting to,
Yeah.
and lastimadamente, viviendo durante estos tiempos, suffering makes us family. Oh my goodness. Okay, back out.
Thank you, hermano. And yeah, when we feel each other suffering, right? Like that's the beauty and the power of being artists, is that we are such empaths and we gather and collect the human experience. So right, like the collective skin is feeling the pain of that child in Palestine, or the child in Iran, or that person across the globe. We haven't lived their experience, but we feel their pain, right? And so that collective fabric of empathy, that is our shared skin, right? And so when we feel that, that's when we open up the space to heal each other and feel each other. And we need more of that. I'm a second and say, I want to see that on a billboard too. I want the world to have more radical empathy. And Maestro, you're always such a beautiful vessel of that. You are a living embodiment of that feeling and making sure we all get home safe. So thank you, brother. Thank you. So coming up next to the stage, y'all. Beautifully, we moving from the sea to an anchor. We moving from the sea to Gwen C. I want to bring next to the stage someone I'm very familiar with. Give it up, y'all, for Gwen C.
Hello, hello. Hey, it's been so long. I haven't seen you in so long. All right. So I didn't know what I was going to do, right? But y'all had some conversation that made me just go ahead and pick a piece. You've wanted to fire me for 30 years. You hate my ethics and our morals don't match. I take accountability for my inability to resign. There's no non-compete clause. Your irrational fears and envy heighten your bigotry, which be evident in your blatant dumb shit, like hating due to the color of skin you marginalize others. Our separation is necessary. I expect no severance package. I just won't work with you in boxing others and labeling them without knowing the inner contents. You withheld my promotions because I fight the raging sea of systemic oppression, yet you promote shell programs to hide waves of gentrification. Mad, you glass ceiling me when I refuse to birth, marry, befriend, color within your lines. But you got permanently pissed when I used permanent marker to boldly write inclusion, not exclusion. But the protest was necessary to be an ally to mi gente when kids were being taken. Where were you when cries of fence kids sang painful melodies to one another? Were you singing All Lives Matter? I tried to work with your tempo, listen to your music. As a teen, my cassettes with holes filled with paper flow from Too Short's The Ghetto to Travis Tritt, I Don't Love You Anymore. And I don't. Ain't no love, bitch. I've clocked in much to handle your fragility. I mean your business. And stress or triggers only cells mattered. Your contracts enable killings of Amadou, Terrence, Sam, Walter, Sean Bell, Mike Brown, Patrick Harmon. Your silence is harming people. You love black as long as it keeps you out the red. Our work dynamic is worse than the necessity of telling my cousins to raise their sons into men who do not kill mine. Like them, you preach, get out the streets. But Brianna was home in the sheets. Those things you rest between after chasing your sweet dreams, but she couldn't even sleep. You hate my affiliation, work assigned by God, my calling. Yet don't hate the officer who killed a man while calling for his mother, but you mad at the man who kneeled in peaceful protest again, but not the man who kneeled to force someone's last breath. You breathe life into campaigns for tax hikes, for playgrounds, trails, and parks, but batted no eye when a 12-year-old child was shot dead playing in the park. You value Black and brown sons' military service, yet don't mind when wars are waged against them, such as mass incarceration. This was intended to be a draft. But dear white people, please accept my formal resignation. Normally, I thank you for the opportunity and wish you future success. Instead, I wish you be bland, like Bland Bland, and die an unknown death as they claim Sandra did. And since Alton's life was ceased when selling CDs, I pray the bank cease your finance, terminate your livelihood. I wish the demise of your vision, your product's transportation, like police denied Philando's life while he sat in the front seat of his transportation. Okay. Resignations must be kept to one page. I quit. Want your exit interview questions answered? Catch me off stage.
Woo-wee! Catch me off stage. How about that? Oh shit. Okay. I'm gonna need y'all. Oh, give me 1 second, y'all. Technical, my issue. I'm gonna need y'all to unmute and give so much love to Gwen C, y'all.
Thank you. I
Love
appreciate
that.
y'all.
Love that.
Yeah, mic drop big time on the end. Just really connected with what you're doing so much. Again, this is a real traditional activity for a poet, and it's to ridicule as a way to disempower an adversary. And there's other cultures that have really ancient traditions of this, like in Ireland. Poets used to be hired as hitmen because they could so incredibly shame somebody that person would die. And I was getting that vibe from your poem, the power with which you spoke all those truths. And I really was struck by this very stark line that I just have to stand up and give an ovation to. Dear white people, please accept my resignation. I connect with that so much because I truly, there's a big part of the white cultural world that never let me in. So I was kind of already resigned from that sector to begin with. And you really just said that so concisely. That was a gift to me to hear you say that.
Thank you.
Being out here in the Zoom world as poets, if we're in the room, let's throw shoes. Let's throw shoes.
Want to yeet it out the window.
Yeah, baby.
That was
Yeah,
incredible.
well, as I always say, if you can't say it here at the New Yorican Poets Cafe, where can you say it?
That part. Beautiful. And the extended metaphor of it, right? Like it began and I didn't know where it was going. It had the resignation, the glass ceiling. I wasn't sure, but then we found the compass pointed and I was like, oh shit, that's a crazy metaphor to build off of, right? Like the bare bones of it. And then she fleshed it out so beautifully, right? So that's our power as poets and crafters of word and turners of metaphor. That it was just so brilliantly put, right? Like quitting whiteness. Because whiteness again is a construct, it's a myth, it's an idea, it doesn't exist, right? It was a blanket term to coin a bunch of different nationalities, ethnicities. There's no culture in whiteness. It is homogeneity. It is absence of. It is stripping, anesthetizing culture, right? So it's only right that we like quiet quit, or we just in your case, you just like threw the fucking shoe. You like Jerry Maguire quit that shit. You're like, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you. You're cool, and I'm out. And then she ended with the catch me on stage. How about that, right? Yeah, it's about a disconnection, right, Paul? It's literally about being like, we are not, we are separating ourselves from the rest of the harmony of the world, and it's creating a cacophony, it's creating a discord, and we reject that, we rebuke that shit. Here at the New Yorican, we are about a celebration and a culmination, a bringing together of cultures at the table, and not a supremacy ever, right? And that's the beauty of this space, is we can have so many different voices exist on one stage and uplift and love on each other, and give to each other. And speaking of which, I'm so excited to hear this next poet speak, because I was intrigued from the second I saw his hat and facial hair combo. I was like, oh, this man got style. This man got a unique perspective. So I'm about to see for the first time what it be when we bring Ray Whitaker to the stage, y'all. Give it up for Ray.
All righty. I saw the theme earlier today, and I picked 3 pieces to read. And since I've been online in the Zoom universe here, I threw all of them out and picked this other one. So I'm hoping that this one, those 3 just didn't work, but this one I hope will. So it's called The Rain. Standing in a shallow primordial pool, barefoot, soles, toes resting on leaves, dripping, and shirtless, animal calls off in the distance of this North American jungle, saturating trees and tall forest ferns, a tangle of upright deciduous trees in full green leaves. Conifers mixed in there and here. This old forest has withstood the many storms. This warm summer rain drips off noses, nipples, fingers, a loincloth belted to a muscular body, strong enough to make the way in the wilds, smart enough to cherish about the loves gained, remembering those also that have been lost and washed away by tender long squalls. I stand naked in my love for you, in a tender rain, dripping. We talk only with our eyes. Words are not necessary, touching each other as if skin to skin. This is all that is. Standing in this pool beside a great forest oak, this tree reminding stalwartness, surviving weather, tufted squirrels, even red-headed woodpeckers, many seasons of events. We are no longer in winter here. Now our spring of fast-moving loving, the heart beating, fiercely needing, turning faces upwards into the gentle rain, feeling raindrops on eyelashes if tears had come. Standing nude in our love, this tender rain dripping more, we talk only with our eyes. Here and now, words not necessary, touching each other skin to skin. This is all that is. Way off over there, past the trees, a clap of thunder, reminding distance, intensity, demanding notice, a sensuality of the moment. The rain stops, humidity paramount, our bodies illuminated, emanating a glow, an aura. Our energies combine brighter than the sun. Our sun speaks through the canopy of leaves. Blue worlds waking to be shaped by this. We are standing clad only in our love. In the middle of massive forest oaks, our eyes locked in embrace, raindrops dripping on bare shoulders. Our monolith stands in the open glen, wet, warmly pointing up towards possibility. Thank you.
All right, y'all. I'm gonna need y'all to give it up for Ray Whitaker. Give some love, y'all.
I'm so glad to see you back here tonight. And again, you come up with these poems that are just so feelable, and your descriptions of these very tactile experiences just anchor your work in the listener's own sensibilities so much. It's a kind of an innate but wonderful technique. And this poem, you conjured up such an intense feeling of intimacy too. Just wonderful to hear your voice back here doing what you do. And I'm saying that as a person who lives in a hyper-urban crazyopolis. So, I have to go out of my way to get to a park to even smell a tree.
Yeah, I wrote that piece because I was reflecting on a woman that I loved dearly once, and it just, the theme tonight was craft, about making a good piece, and I just thought that maybe this might actually show something that I felt once. So, and in a way that it would be, tactile, like you say. But thank you, Paul.
Absolutely. Achieved, what you aimed for, you accomplished and more. You brought Paul from the concrete jungle to the jungle. You brought all of us into that love. You brought out the eroticism in nature. I called it a nature erotic poem, because I really feel like it was that. Like you helped us feel like we're communing with nature, but in doing that, in that connection back to the earth, back to our roots, we find love, and the love that we find makes us feel connected to it too, right? Like we are literally rooted in that love. It was beautiful. It was beautiful. You built layers on layers on layers there, and so much imagery, so much sensory. It was gorgeous. Thank you, Ray. Thank you. Yeah, nature erotic. That's another conflation coming from today. And then the nakedness has also been like an undercurrent theme. Nakedness and cats and the sea and all these the craftsmanship has brought us to all of these ports and places. And I'm so excited to see the places that our next poet coming to the stage is going to bring us. I'm going to need y'all to give it up and give so much love to Rena Sashtava.
Thank you. I'm just trying, actually. I don't know why I put my nickname as,
It's okay. I'll get it. Okay. So Jasrina, right?
Yeah, just trying.
Jasrina. Okay.
Perfect.
Just always your name is your first poem. So we just want to honor it, and the floor is yours, poet.
Thank you. So this is my second time here, and yeah, I'm just gonna read the poem. Just a second. I'm gonna read two. So the first one is called The Story of a Candle. A candle lived by a window, cold since he was birthed, unlit, untouched, forever trapped in its woe. It longed to burn, just a spark, it yearned, yet years passed, and no one lit it up. Alas, one day, a child struck a match, and at the touch of warmth, it melted, as its wick burned to ashes. The child just toying with the candle, but the burning demise was melting it to death for fire he couldn't handle when his whole life he lived in ice. And I'm going to move on to the second one. In my bedroom, I lay, safe within the walls, protected behind closed windows, unaware behind pink curtains. The luminance behind compelled me to draw them open, and shock took over as I saw the clouds weeping outside. So I opened the windows, just a tad, to listen to their patter. But oh, the clouds, they were singing a cacophony. My ears yearned for the silence I had ere. My hands moved to shut the windows. My feet had paralyzed, for they loved dry ground. But oh, if I had gone out, perhaps I would have fancied a shower. Under the falling raindrops, oh, under the sky's bower, perhaps I would have danced. Thank you.
Perhaps I would have danced. All right, poets, I'm gonna need y'all to unmute. Show some love. Rain down. Give some love to
Oh, wow, that was something.
Definitely.
Nice.
Welcome second time.
Yeah, really glad you're back. And
Yeah.
the first poem really got me. It's a kind of parable of mortality, and you're another poet who's these are short poems, and you do it with such a subtle economy, and that makes what you're doing so very effective, right? You don't waste any detail, and you go right for your target. And I think you get there in a really powerful way with what you're doing. I really like the second piece because it showed me you have a very acute level of self-awareness, and that was really coming through in the poem and how you described your response to the scenario you were describing. So hope you keep coming back.
Yeah, thank you. I actually had my exams, my 10th grade exams. So I was like so stressed with those. And then my sleep schedule got messed up because I have to wake up at 6:30 a.m. for this. So I couldn't like come
Well,
for this.
think of this, if you keep doing this 20 years from now, you're going to be telling people, I was in 10th grade and I was going to the New Eurekan Poets Cafe.
Yeah, I can't go physically, but yeah, this is what
You're
Not yet.
here. You are here.
You're
Thank
here.
you.
Take it from one of the biggest ambassadors of the cafe, right? You just embodied the spirit. You just totally lived the spirit of the New York Poets Cafe. Distance might bring us, apart, but again, poems are portals, and spaces like this are a portal. So thank you for waking up real early to zoom in with us. We don't take it for granted. That first piece was a beautiful persona poem, right? Like embodying the candle and getting into the human aspects of the candle, and as it like yearns and wants that connection, but the connection literally drains and kills it, and then it's almost rebirthed within the poem too, and given that humanity. It was beautiful, a beautiful lesson in craft. And I teach and mentor teens for a living. That was some high register 10th grade poetry ish. Like, I want to tell you, keep going with it. You have a gift. It is innate. It is you. I don't think you could quit poetry if you tried, but keep pouring into it. Keep showing up for yourself and your craft. You're not going to regret ever pouring into your page and then pouring onto the stage, because you really resonated with us today. So thank you for coming back, Jess Rina. Don't be a stranger. Set the alarms, show up here. As Elemental would say, you don't effed up, because now it will be expecting you, right? We will be looking for you. We'll be like, yo, where Jess Rina at, right? Like as you continue to refine your voice and find your voice, you're going to find yourself so inspired by the poets in this community, just like we're inspired by you tonight. So thank you, poet. We appreciate you. Your words are felt across the sea, across time, differences and distances. Poetry is a unifier. So thank you for giving us your fire tonight, right? So that with Jas Rina, that is the end of our guaranteed list. So now we're going to move to our 3-minute each good luck round. We got 4 folks signed up. That means we have 1 spot left, but if no one claims it soon, we just go and bring it to you. So coming up first to kick off our good luck round, I'm gonna bring somebody to the stage who is always a bright. Speaking of community and building community, she is always a warm presence, a bright presence in every space she steps in. I've had the honor of getting to know her and chop it up with her, and she gonna give it. Oh wait, where's she at? I'm looking for her. I'm looking for her. She might have left and she might have to double back. It's okay. We'll find her again. I was looking for Elizabeth. I don't know where she. It's okay. We'll double back. This be happening. I was introducing. Okay, so the next two folks had to leave. Cool, 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 cool. We adjust. This is what poets do. So that's gonna mean that we moving it back to Jersey and we squaring up with the Trinity. That means the author of the Chameleon Chronicles herself is gonna bring you her poetic stylings, always showing out for community, always holding space for folks. She's been the host of so many fincabulary things. She is just prolific in her craft. Please, y'all, give it up for Terry Rose Jurtson.
Hey, what's up, guys? So I have some new shit. I'm just gonna go. IG rant. Today, another conspiracy reported on IG, my invaluable source of headline news taken straight out of inquiring minds want to know. Unbelievable report said that the COVID vaccines contain parasites programmed to reproduce themselves in one flipping big-ass science experiment created inside us. Mere mortals mutating into a web that will create a new nervous system that may shut down our own or work in symbiotic relationship. Who really knows? It's all part of the fun guessing game of let's just see what happens, making us all candidates for these new sleeve bodies if anything happens to the old one, right? A replacement, improved dream body 2.0, who wouldn't be on board with that? Like getting a new car when the old one is not so shiny and starts to show signs of wear and tear. What could possibly go wrong there? We will live forever, goddammit. Wait, did God damn that? Oh well, we're all playing God now, so who cares, right? Maybe we'll all be schizophrenic, having more than one personality, and who knows how many voices will be ringing in our heads. The voice that is the loudest now is the one who said, why didn't you put up more of a fight when the job insisted that you get that fucking shot? Not once, but twice. And the third request you finally refused. I can only hope that my body is strong enough to fight off that invader. Under a microscope, the thing looks like Audrey 2, one eye slow blinking at me. What is it thinking? What is it doing floating around in my DNA? I feel betrayed, again, bamboozled by the puzzle pieces that be trying to kill us. Screw you bastards! I'm so sick of being screwed over by these fascists. They are millionaire megalomaniacs with many murderous tendencies, maniacal mechanizations, making movies about reality. Killer microscope robots injected in our bloodstream. Poisonous rivers, lakes, streams, food sources. They insist it is us against them. They never thought for 1 minute it could be any other way. They only ever had evil intentions, and their existence was an abomination, a declaration of war on humanity. With friends like this, who needs enemies?
Ooh-wee, with friends like this, who needs enemies? I'm gonna need y'all friends to chime in. Give it up for Terry Rose Jurtson.
That was a total romp. I was just laughing after every line. I don't know about you, but after I took the COVID vaccine, Martians started to come over to get me high on cannabis. That's the only bad thing that's happened. Yeah, see? I know it's a conspiracy. The whole thing about conspiracy theories and I just think nobody can take IG or any social platform to task enough. So thanks so much for that. It was really punchy and strong, so it wasn't just a lot of laughs. The points you were making were really, really powerful.
Thank you.
Terry, please drop your socials if you have any.
Oh, yeah, I do.
Plug it in
everything.
the chat. Plug it in the
I'm
chat.
on everything except the things that I feel like I should ban for my life. I probably should ban it all from my life.
Hopefully X, you know, we can X out X because we don't like
Yeah,
supporting any of those.
that's what I'm
billion-
talking about. You got me. That's what I was talking
I
about.
don't have that anyhow.
Yeah.
And that thing that and the pompous ass made his own radio or whatever the heck it was. I'm not on there.
Yeah. I do not see a universe in which I would ever want to support Elon. But yeah, beautiful. You took their ass to task. She tore them up, right? She literally was like, take these millionaire megalomaniacs, made them into the virus, and then hit us with that endless alliteration, right? She was just there spitting like she was Kendrick Terry Rose Jurtson. That was beautiful. That was beautiful, Terry. And I see Terry in all of the workshop spaces, in all the poetry communities. So show love, connect with each other, show up. You don't know which connection or friendship might bring you into the place you're meant to be in, which might lead you to the path you need to be on. We are all walking this divine path together. So align with each other because we're stronger when our voices are together. Yeah, I did say Nazi. I did not see that coming. Yeah. All right. So y'all, with this gonna bring us to our final good luck round, our final performer of the evening, the captain of the New Eurekan street team, as my brother Elemental would say. We gonna hear how he gonna slay this stage and bring us home with some of his power. I need y'all to see and give it up a round of applause for Inspiration.
Thank you. Right. I was going back and forth between which ones I wanted to do, but I'm gonna do this one called "I Am Unapologetically Apologize," Part 1, My Black History. White women, I unapologetically apologize if I ever made you feel neglected or ignored. When I was younger, I was shy, though I still managed to get my point across when I tried to shoot my shot at y'all, though I was the one that ended up disregarded and passed over. Even though it was only a couple, y'all. I know it's not fair that the rest of y'all feel neglected or ignored, though still, I'm sorry that I'm not sorry. I'm not trying to be egotistic like my shit don't stink or I'm all that. It's just that I've been asked a lot. Why am I so into Black women and the melanated favored? No, it's not just because of their physical beauty, though it is a part of it. Though I won't lie, there's some of my white women out there that be fine as hell too. They be equally open-minded and cultural too. No hate towards another, beautiful on the inner side too. So more than likely, I'll still favor that brown-skinned woman on the other side of the room and not you. Sorry that I'm not sorry. It's not because I hate you or that I hate myself. In fact, if the right white woman would have stepped up with me, I might have just fucked with you. Though after the experiences back then, it was the melanated girls and women who made me feel comfortable with being me. Asked me my opinions, asked questions about me, introduced me to their families and fed me, taught me about culture, even asked about mine and what do I know about mine. We talked about stereotypes and the history of whys. Why, in each other's opinion, did we escalate into lies over time? Why we looked into each other's eyes, reinforcing the wise words of my mom and dad about when in conversation, always look that person in the eye. Still, I asked the question, why? Because eyes are the windows to one's soul, that's why. Later, I was taught about my third eye. So I show respect eye to eye when I apologize to those white women that I neglected and ignored for so long, forevermore. I am motivation, determination, and inspiration. White, brown, Black, unite. I am forever. I, inspiration.
Hey, I'm gonna need y'all to unmute and give so much love to our close of the evening, Inspiration.
Woo!
Oh, good to see you back here, Craig. I hope you've been doing well.
Yeah, working hard, man. You know, been working on the TikTok streets a lot, as well as the concrete and moving around, and you know how I do.
I felt like your piece was the beautiful like intersection of both Black History and Women's History Month, and you were like, let me fuse these two together and like do a Megazord poem where I talk about my love and appreciation for Black women. And I think it's beautiful, and it was a layered thing too, because you addressed even like I'm not dismissing any other women, and it's not for lack of love for my white sisters or any other
Right.
ethnicity, but it's just what we resonate. We can't help sometimes what we resonate and connect with,
Yeah, I like what Paul's saying, and it was the poem. What I like about a lot of your poems, Craig, is the layer, how they're layered with. It's not quite so clear at the beginning where the position you're really speaking from. So this started out with just this straight out sort of cynicism, a kind of cynical confessional, right? But the longer you went on, the more you were working out in the poem. And, it's built on this ironical statement, I'm sorry, I'm not sorry. And that is just a kind of classic fuel for any poet who's into satire and irony. And I like the quality of your poems that make them a guy poem, right? Because you have a very forceful, confrontational, challenging presentation, right? But somehow, a lot of the time, it doesn't come off, to me anyway, as though you're intentionally trying to be hyper masculine, which I think turns off a lot of people in a kind of performance. You, because of this way you layer your work and your technique and your skill, you're able to negotiate what would, for a lot of people, be a very difficult topic to get through and explain yourself in a way that is respectful, but also shows respect for the listener, which I think is really important. And in the end, I think you do with a lot of your poems something that's really important, but it still gives to the listener. These are poems where you're really working out all of this in many senses for your own self. And that is a very important part of how poems can be tools for people. So the longer I hear your work, the more sort of dimensional they become in all these ways. So I'm glad to see you back here.
I was glad to be back. I've been working on getting back, but there's something's popping up all the time on Thursdays, and it's like, I gotta get back.
Life be lifing, but it's beautiful when we could return to our tribe, when we could come back in a place feels like home. The beauty of having this space is no matter what goes on in our lives, when y'all return to it today, I felt the love returning to it like I never left. Like it's been a minute for me, and to come in and host and then hold space for y'all, like it's been a gift for me, to be in community. And again, I think a lot of your work, my inspiration is rooted in some of the traditions of hip hop, and hip hop was at its, in some of its more toxic histories, is a more machismo based or kind of like more toxic patriarchal based objectification, and you took that and tried to like dismantle it. You tried to pick it apart and be like, this is out of love and appreciation, right? Almost in a way like Tupac does in some of his dedications to Black women, right? So it's the idea of like, don't hear what I'm not saying, listen to me truly before you make any snap judgments, and it's out of a love and appreciation. So it's almost a dismantling of the toxic culture within hip hop that would otherwise objectify.
And both you and Skiff for both right, in your critiques. Because when you had said, the Black History and Women's Month, I did, combine them, for for that reason. And then, like Paul was saying too, it was I really am doing this, for me, but every Paul just is always on point, with his critiques. But both of y'all were very right, and I appreciate, the kind words, and yeah, I do. It was nerve-wracking when I first, did it. I was trying it out on TikTok a lot. I was getting a lot of praise, and then I went to Milwaukee and I did it live on stage, and the room was split. It was, like half white women and then half melanated, and not all the white women were like clapping for me, and it's like I'm not like talking shit, I'm not meaning it that way, this is just my black history, it's bigger than physical beauty, and you know it's not even just black women, it's just, I grew up, it was mainly black girls and women, but I had a few Puerto Rican girls, in time that I was really close to. I mean, we weren't intimate, but that influenced me a lot, and it was
Yeah.
just the comfort level when I tell the story, it's just that they made me feel comfortable, made me, comfortable being me, and asked me questions that my own people didn't even ask me, ask me about my history, my ethnicity, and what do I know about it, and help me research, my stuff. And we sat and, talked about all those things. And uh, it's not, it's not a physical thing. And like I said, there's very beautiful, Caucasian women out there, and uh, that are very cultural, and that, that I get along with, and that I even look up to, and I won't ever, deny what I am. Like I say, and uh, I'm an ally too, you know, I say that I was baptized Catholic, but I trust and believe in Muslims more,
Yeah.
and that, you know, that's part of my thing, is really just being blunt and waking people up
Yeah.
and stirring the pot, and then bringing it back to, okay, calm down, this is where I'm going with it, kind of like Paul was saying. So uh, yeah, it felt good to get it out to you guys. I was hoping that you would appreciate it and see exactly what you saw in it. So
And we appreciate you, brother. I just want to say thank you again. All right. So y'all, it is absolutely the poet's job. As Skip said, I think the beauty is in the nuance that we lend to our work, where we introduce an idea and then it's the poet's job to be the conduit. That's kind of what Lantern and Veil got at in their piece. And we become the vessels. We become the vessels to work out ancestral and also personal and societal wounds, and then address the wound and give the wound air and the space to breathe, and the stage you all contributed to, and we held space for tonight, is the place to work out those things and hear each other and relate to each other and truly listen to each other, because great art comes from a place of non-judgment, and it comes from a close listening and evaluation and ingesting, and then that's what brings us to our collective skin. Just exactly like Norm said, that poem is so much more about seeing the unity and the feeling heard and the feeling held than it is about a rejection of anything. It's about saying, this is what I felt most embraced by. And that was, I think, a beautiful note for us to close on tonight. So again, thank you, Eye Inspiration. Thank you to every poet who touched stage. Thank you to those who didn't and just came to support and listen. Thank you to Ron RMT, our tech producer extraordinaire for the night. Thank you to Elemental. We feel him in the atmosphere, even though he couldn't be here. We're wishing him luck as he's going around and hosting, not hosting, performing, competing, doing the beautiful things he does. Because we poets still got to be out in these streets. So I'm gonna just send us home for the
Actually,
night.
Paul,
Yes.
in the YouTube live stream, literally like a few minutes ago, Elemental was watching and sends us his love. He's not
Love.
able to be in Zoom tonight, but he was watching parts of it on YouTube. So thank you, Elemental.
He felt it. He had his ear to the street team as Eye Inspiration closed this out, and he felt all of the elemental forces at work tonight, because y'all brought a beautiful theme, brought up beautiful work from beautiful poets. And I'm just glad that I got to hold space and be in community with you all. Super glad to be home again. This online space is what brought me to where I am today in all my hosting and Nuyorican endeavors. I wouldn't be here if it weren't for this very platform itself. When I spit on a stage here virtually 6 years ago, literally almost to the day, because it was during the pandy, and Terry Rose gave me that perspective, like brought me back to the COVID times. And it was a dark time, but it's where a lot of us found light in each other. And that's where we built and we found hope, and we continue to dig through the muck and the mire and the bullshit of these toxic folks like Catman Unbill dressed a lot of these fucking hypocrites and the politics. And like Ike Waltz said, we waltzed our way through digital connection to find love in one another and in acceptance of our tongues. Like Ruth Miranda said, we found our truth through our words. And like Dre said, we're just here existing bombastically and we're consuming the art of each other. And like Alan Gary said, we let our words become our vessel and our truth. And like Rhina said, we tried on the perspectives of others, right? And it was just a beautiful thing. Like Ray, we stood under the raindrops and the waterfalls of each other's nature, right? And like Eddie said, and brought the flame to it. Sometimes we got to stand naked, just like Paul Skiff would co-sign, and be so raw and bare and vulnerable in our art. And then like Gwen C said, we gonna disregard and we gonna dispel and we gonna resign from anything that does not serve us. Just like Sam Hardy said, we gonna break our own hearts if we have to, because it's gonna fuck us up so good we gonna feel it for weeks long after. Yeah, I'm just so honored to hold space with all of you. Poets, this is a home always for you. If you don't know it, tonight was a homecoming. I always welcome your return. Our poetry is the place that we yearn and we burn and we return to one another. No matter where our paths take us, we can always break us and reshape us. The kintsugi of you and me, who are we if not a community? Because truly we be the poets that make new yo Rican see through you and me eye to eye like eye inspiration. I'm just taking words and crafting them verbally when I'm taking. Everybody wants to say what they need to say, so we created a stage for this. This is the New Rican online open mic, and I'm blessed by being in your company tonight. Thank y'all so much. And I'm honored, and I can't wait to share space with y'all again. I'm gonna be in the audience seat probably the next time, but I'm gonna come and drip from the storms that my storm god brother Elemental conjures. You're gonna see me on these stages again real soon, because y'all inspired me tonight. So I'm gonna go and write some heat, and y'all gonna see me real soon. Thank you all. Take care of each other. Walk each other home. It's always peace and love and inspiration and poetry. Love y'all. And if you want to unmute, give us a sound into the void. Leave us with one lasting word or feeling or expression. I'm gonna ask y'all, if you want to unmute, just give us a year or a meaning of love, whatever we're left feeling tonight. Just leave us with a lasting word and give love to all of our watchers on YouTube.
All right, poets. Yeah.
Poetry.
Thanks, Ben.
Thank y'all. I love
Take care,
y'all.
everyone.
I'll see y'all soon.
Bye.
Take care of yourselves and each other.